Huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets have won their first NBA championship with a 94-89 comeback victory in Game 5 versus the Miami Heat.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP, goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 people can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written across the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly MLB owners meetings and as Nevada State Legislature moves into a 4th day of special session debating the merits of the Athletics Stadium proposal. Those are your headlines. Now let's get rolling with Whitey Gleason and Jason Ross here on Chris and Company.
Yeah, here's an update on Chris Watkins on the YouTube chat. Chris Watkins weighs in with literally getting off my plane right now. How about that, Jay Ross? Thank you for sticking around.
Is that really Chris Watkins? Do we know that? You know how many people impersonate him?
There are a lot. You're right. A lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they had the plane info. That's pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with it, too.
Yeah. How about that, though? Chris could have, just gone home, but
Yeah.
the day after the NBA Finals are completed, he's coming in.
He's a worker. He wants to be here. He wants to be here with you.
His
And
favorite...
Good to be here with you.
It's great to be here with you. I appreciate your hanging out. Chris Watkins' favorite NBA player of all time, you know who it is, right?
Tim Duncan.
Yeah, and that says a lot about him, right?
Yeah.
It's like, we got work to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What'd you think of Jokic last night?
Phenomenal,
yeah.
right? And when they needed him. Fourth quarter, he was great. Right when they needed him most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just when I needed you most. The thing that stood out to me last night, and I know everyone's bending over backwards about he's great because of this, he's great because of that, and no one knows how good he is, but he's really good. Everyone knows how good he is. But he did one of the things last night that some of the truly great players did. He did what he did in the flow of the game. I remember Hubie Brown talking years ago about coaching in the ABA against George Gervin.
In our league.
Yeah. And he'd say, we got done with the game. We thought, yeah, we did a good job on him. And you look, and he's like, yeah, he only scored 47. That's kind of how Jokic was last night, right?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, how did he do? He hit 12 of 16 shots.
I think
he does it in the flow. It's not like, all right, give me the ball.
Yeah. I think what's become difficult with Jokic is I feel like that's the talking point on him now is how great is he? Or some people don't want to already relinquish that he's one of the greats. Is it too soon? Right now, I think what we watched, though, was someone doing something that we just hadn't seen in a postseason very often. He had one of the great postseason runs of all time. And if you want to pick it apart to judge him against others, that's fine. But what he's judged against, he killed it. He was great against every team he faced, and he was great in the finals.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to Jay about this yesterday. The yeah-buts are running out of things to say. Like just like last year in the finals, the yeah-buts ran out of things to say about Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah, but he can't do this, can't do that. It's like, he hasn't won a finals MVP, and it's like, oh, he did. And I think Jokic shut up a lot of the yeah-buts this year, too.
Yeah, and it's a weird time. I know it happens after anybody wins a title, whether it's a coach, a key player. Is this going to be a dynasty? Is he the greatest this? Is they this? That? But I was thinking about that I knew we'd see some of that today. Like, how great is Jokic? Where does he rank already? Because last year after Steph won another one, I mean, you add to already a great resume. I remember when Kawhi won the one with Toronto and he'd already won. Is he the best player in basketball? Like that conversation isn't had right now with him. Doesn't mean he's not great, but it's just, there's something about winning a title, the immediacy that we want to put these labels on these guys, but he is phenomenal though.
Is the conversation not being had because most people universally agree he is the best player in basketball right now?
That's certainly possible. I just thought also, in addition to all that, 94-89 last night, and it was 5 games to me, J. Ross. That was for a gentleman's sweep. It felt like a very competitive series.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of credit to Miami. Not that, Denver wins. They're the champs. But Miami, even last night where it got to 8, and it felt like 8's not ending a game, but like Denver looked like this was going to be a nice last 3-minute celebration. And here comes Jimmy Butler when they needed him most. And they had the lead twice in the end. You're thinking, are they really going to send this back to Miami? Miami just never gives up. They just don't have enough. But they were relentless.
If Miami had won, what do you think we'd be talking about today? We'd be talking about when
the referees,
Jimmy Butler kicked Aaron Gordon in the nether region.
Yeah.
And they reviewed it and they still ruled, oh yeah, there's a foul on Aaron Gordon.
Doesn't
matter, not taking nothing away from the Nuggets.
Right.
But that was amazing. Like, what?
Did they, and I saw it. I don't know. Did we ever get full clarity? Was it the landing that was not clear?
So they didn't go to Steve Javie.
Right.
I thought they're going, let's go to Steve Javie.
Where was he?
I don't know.
Yeah. But there was nothing up by his hand by the release. Nothing.
I don't think so.
And so then maybe, and they kind of crossed his
Had
body.
to be
but
the landing area. Had to be.
But I'm like,
I don't know what you're supposed to do.
It's just so questionable right there. And I thought the officiating was, again, they let them play, which I prefer personally, but man, was it physical.
Really let them play.
It was crazy.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad it didn't impact the end. It did to keep it close, but it didn't affect who won.
Yeah, 94-89, of course, the final, and the Denver Nuggets polishing off the Heat team. They didn't want to go away. I thought Jimmy Butler, honestly, my take at the end was I think he was so oxygen deprived that his brain was starved for oxygen, and he made a couple really bad plays after that dramatic push. And I think they asked him to do so much, and they asked him to do so much throughout the postseason that it's almost like fourth quarter, you could see him going, okay, I got to do it. They need me to do it.
Yeah.
But then he just, he just made those 2 really bad plays at the end of the game
Yeah.
because he was flat out worn out.
Yeah. In hindsight, it would have been better had they called a travel. But he throws it right to Bruce Brown, who they foul, and he makes free throws. That'd have been a travel, inbound, out of bounds, maybe a steal, or you foul the person you want to foul. I don't know. He brought him back, put them ahead, but he brain locked a couple times there. And, that's tough when it's your guy because it's tough to fault Jimmy, but
it happened.
It
and
happened.
I think it happened because he has to do so much.
Right.
And I thought down the stretch, and Miami had some – they didn't score, but 38 points in the second half.
Yeah.
But I was noticing Denver, and they were throwing the ball out of bounds, and they couldn't make a 3, and they couldn't make their free throws. But especially in the fourth quarter, they made Miami work so hard in the half court. Miami had the game, the tempo, the way they wanted it, but they were working so hard on every possession. You could see that that's going to take a toll on them eventually at altitude.
Yeah, I think, but in all the teams, I think that's why jumpers were being missed. I think then Denver just started really relying on Jokic and his 2-man game and getting it to him and getting in the paint. Where early on, remember, Bam was scoring at a ton in the paint. I thought that they just went away from that.
Yeah. So it's Jason Ross, Whitey Gleason here, Chris and Co. Chris Watkins should be joining us momentarily. But today we sing the praises of Jokic. And we wonder where the Nuggets go from here after Michael Malone, the former Kings coach, is already talking about, hey, our work's not done yet. Good for him. That's the right thing to say.
Yeah, but is that not too early? Because if you believe it, they've got a great team. Usually that's done like a couple days later. Like, remember Riley did it famously at a parade.
That's where I think he got his,
But he's
cue.
like, I'm doing it right on the podium right now in front of the home fans because the crowd ate it up. And I'm so happy for Malone. That's an organization that elected to stick with him. Good for them. And good for him for getting the reward of a championship.
He was talking after the game about, I think he said it was his second year. They won 46, and they lost the last game of the year.
Game 82 to Minnesota. I remember
and they
that.
didn't make the playoffs, and he said a lot of ownership then. They would have made a change then.
Yeah.
And they decided not to.
And I still look at last year. I thought that's the time they could have after they had kind of made it to a conference final, then went backwards a little bit, lost in round 1 to the Warriors.
I would think the saving grace for him then was rightly, if this was they're thinking, hey, we didn't have Porter, we didn't have Jamal Murray.
Yeah. But they stuck with him. And I also was happy for the staff because then you think of Adelman. So family affair there. Saunders. You have 3 and Malone, son of a coach as well. I think that's, lifers that they've just been around basketball. And that's cool that the families all tasted the championship.
To that point, apparently Isaiah Thomas, not the Kings one, but the Pistons one, he was really nervous about the game last night because he used to play for Brendan Malone as an assistant when Brendan Malone was assistant in Detroit. So he was really pulling for Michael Malone.
Yeah.
And I guess Michael Malone was a little kid running around bothering all those bad boy teams.
Yeah. I mean, moments like that, I mean, you feel like Brendan Malone was here too when Michael Malone was around, but it's cool to see those guys and the amount of work coaches put in. I mean, they're basically hired to get fired. It's crazy. And the two of the longer tenured guys were going head to head yesterday, Spoelstra and Malone, which
there's a lesson in there somewhere.
I think it's not foolproof for everybody, but I think those organizations it works for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see where the Denver Nuggets go from here. Dynasty, I'm with you. A little early to talk about that, but you can't understand why people are at least mentioning it because they do have, you know, in Jokic, you've got a guy who sets the tone for you culturally. They've got a young team, but they're paying a lot of money to their top guys, and it's harder and harder now to keep your team together. Like Bruce Brown, they're probably going to lose Bruce Brown.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's him and Jeff Green were like their prominent free agents. So those guys, they are replaceable. They were part of the fabric though of this championship team. But as long as you have Jokic and then Murray, like it feels like that tandem. And I don't know, Joker is still getting better, it seems like, but I think Murray's getting better. And that would be, to me, is what's scary for the rest of the league. Like, he hasn't been an all-star. I think he's beyond tracking that. I think, obviously, without his big man, I don't know how he plays, but he played like an MVP in this finals. It's just, you know, it was an easy choice for Joker to get
that. Got to me a little bit, him crying, Jamal Murray, given where he's been. I happened to be watching the game against the Warriors when he tore up his knee a couple of years ago and seeing the journey back last year in the playoffs. There were a lot of whispers. It was kind of like Tyler Hero in these finals. Like, he's going to play. He's not going to play. And then to see him come all the way back from the great bubble Murray to this, winning a championship, breaking down in tears. I got to admit, J. Ross, think of me what you will, but it got to me.
All that stuff gets to me. I love the celebration. And to see who would, you know, and then what did you get out of Jokic? What did you make of that?
I love it. It's just so him.
It is him, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what? When's the parade? Oh, I got to go home. And are we ready to go? I'm like, I'm done.
His wife was so excited.
She was excited.
Yeah.
The bigger of the two older brothers just completely bawling. Then later he's celebrating. Like, I just love all the emotions. And I thought Miami handled it very well, too, by the way. Like, sometimes there can be, you know, guys walk off the court or sore loser. They seem to handle it pretty classy, too. So it was a great night for Denver.
Yeah, I know Jokic publicly was like, yeah, we won. But if you watched him, and I'm sure you did, his interactions with his teammates and players on the Heat after the game, you could see how much it meant to him. But his little girl, however old she is,
adorable.
She's just like him. Yeah. Right? She's sitting there on the podium, the presentation for the NBA Finals, and she's just like, hey, what's up? Can we go home?
Yeah,
right?
I'm ready to do this.
Unflappable.
Exactly. I saw her reaching for the confetti. Like, that was cool. It's just great images. Glad they did it at home for them. I mean, I didn't really care who won. I was anxious for Denver. I love to see them win their first title. Makes you think about, hey, what if the Kings ever did this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great for Denver.
Coming up, how the Nuggets overcame an abysmal shooting night to win the title, and what did happen to Jimmy Butler next on Chris and Co. He's J. Ross. I'm Whitey Gleason. Sactown Sports.
It's Cattles and Rami.
You don't need more than 8 bowls in your house at any particular time. And if you're having more people than that, just bust out the paper and plastic.
The use of paper plates in the last week in the household has grown exponentially.
Doesn't it happen that way when the wife was away? Yeah. Every time my mom would go out of town, and my dad would act like he just figured out how to split and atom. He'd be like, I have a great idea. While your mother is out of town, why don't we just use paper plates?
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Have you ever needed a second chance? A chance at a do-over? Elk Grove Kia thinks everyone deserves a second chance, and yet too many folks don't get that second chance they need or deserve. Well, Elk Grove Kia wants you to know we've got you covered. With over 100 years of combined experience in financing, we have the connections and knowledge to get you the approval that others just can't. Doesn't matter if you have late payments, charge-offs, bankruptcies, or repos. If you can make the payment, we can find a way to get you on the road with a new set of keys. Elk Grove Kia can even make all this happen with little to no money down. Don't wait. Enjoy your summer with a new set of wheels. Get started today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Now it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Not quite. Chris Watkins on his way here.
En route.
Yes.
We should have the YouTube on him.
Got a T player. Yeah, we should have the Chris cam.
Yeah.
We have it. We just can't get it to work. Yeah. So
should we get like the helicopter on his car, like it's
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard going to the airport in Toronto?
We definitely should. We're working on that. So Whitey Gleason, J. Ross, nice enough to stick around. J. Ross, what are you doing if you're the Heat? What are you doing if you're the Blazers? Dame Lillard now. You got to figure out a way to get Dame Lillard to the Heat. Are you breaking up the Blazers? What are you doing with all that?
Yeah, I think the Heat aren't look, what they've just done was amazing and should be applauded, but I mean it's second, right? They didn't win the whole thing. Everything they did, I think they were underdogs basically in every series. I don't look at them as they have enough. Yeah, if you incorporate Tyler Hero, they'd be better. If you work around the edges, I think you're better. I mean, do you like Boston more than them right now, present day? I do too. Milwaukee more than them?
Yes.
And I know they beat them. And maybe the Knicks add something, or Philly, or whoever else, or someone that we're not even predicting. They were a 1 seed a year ago. They regressed this year due to injuries, but I feel like they're not whole. And so I think they need something more. And if I can do it, I try to keep Bam and Jimmy. I try to, and see what I can get. Now, Tyler, it may cost you Tyler Hero, a bunch of picks, and some of the other guys on the fringes. But I would look at Dame for sure.
I understand all that, and maybe that makes them better. I mean, I understand all the talk about Dame today, but another aging, expensive veteran, I mean, at some point that becomes a dead end.
It does, but if it gets him a title, maybe two. I don't know if it will. There's no guarantees on any of this. I mean, that's kind of why they brought in Kyle Lowry, though. In their moments, he was really good in this series, but, still as a bench player, I think he could be someone maybe used as an expiring.
That three that he made last night, fourth quarter, what is it, 2 for 1? It's like, might as well shoot. Like, oh my.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We got a game here.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, back to the Portland part. I think if I'm Portland, it doesn't have to be to Miami. I'm moving Dame.
I'm with you on that too.
And I think,
are you drafting Scoot?
Yeah.
Build around him.
Build around him, Shaden Sharp, whatever you get in return for Dame, and redo it, because I think right now they are closer to being bad than, like, they're not a title team with Dame. Dame's great. I also I say that so nonchalantly. What I would do first and foremost is personally meet with Dame if I'm the GM and say, look, this is our plan. This is what we'd like to do. Kind of gauge, like, if he's okay with it. We want to do right by you. You've meant everything in the world to us. Give us a couple of spots you'd like to go. We'll do our best to get you there. I don't know how I'd handle it if he says, I don't want to go. I want to stay here, because that may not be best for business.
It's like 47, then 50-something, then high 50s, and then 60 over the next 4.
Yeah.
It's just hard. How are we going to afford to put a team around you?
Yeah. It's tricky, because I would have said the same thing, Whitey, about 2 years ago. I would have really thought about that if I was the Warriors, when they had the 2 rough years in a row. Now, there was reasons for it with Steph, Draymond, other guys being hurt, Clay coming off injury. You'd lost Durant. I'm like, I don't know that they're that close to a title. Well, they got one last year.
Yeah.
And they stuck with Steph. And if they ever, I don't think they'll ever be in that spot. I think he's going to be a Warrior for life. But you get to a point where you've done everything for the organization. You probably should stay, but sometimes it's best for the organization to move on from you. And I think that's where Portland is with Dame. And it's not a slight to him at all.
No. There's also this, talking about Scoot. I don't know if you heard this, but I read today in The Athletic. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. That now apparently New Orleans is really interested.
Yeah.
In
did you see them over there and over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense too on that end, because
which obviously could have, all these things could have in the West huge impact on the Kings season next year.
I don't like that. I want them all to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, actually, it's better if it's a tough.
No,
path.
I'm with you. It's funny, because to me, if you're Sacramento or a Sacramento fan, you look up at some of the teams like the Lakers. They're in a good year, but they're aging. We talk about the Warriors. It looks like they're running it back. Well, good luck with that. But it's the teams behind you that are kind of scary.
Right.
Wembanyama,
Yep.
and I guess he had a good night in Game 2 of the Pro League A Finals or whatever they are. I don't know. But Oklahoma City, potentially New Orleans. Yeah. So there's a lot of volatility in the conference.
Yeah. People weren't looking down at the Kings. They were down below everybody last year, and they weren't thinking about the Kings. And then here they come up.
Phoenix is above you, but they got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Even Memphis.
And all the activity everybody had at the deadline, I get why they did it, but I also think it kind of hindered some of their moves or potential moves going forward. So I think the Kings have a little bit more flexibility than some. They're in better positions than some, not all. Yeah.
Do you want Bruce Brown? Go.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. But at what cost? Like, that guy made himself some money, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. And he was already on his way to that.
But that's a tricky one. Like, a guy like that's a good example, Whitey, of a guy that do you think he was put in a really good position? Meaning that, hey, if there was another Bruce Brown type, whoever that is, joined Jokic and Murray, that guy might have thrived too.
Maybe. That's
but he's a good
point.
player.
I liked him the year before. I thought when Denver signed him, I was like, oh, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He was really solid with the Nets.
Yeah.
And that all that madness surrounding him.
But the way they pieced it together was really smart. I mean, they got the trade for Gordon over a year ago. And then, okay, filling in the pieces. Like, okay, what else do we need? They probably felt we need a little more defense on the perimeter. Let's get KCP, who can make some threes.
When they made that trade, I thought, what are they doing that for? And it was a great trade.
Yeah, just again, it doesn't blow you away, but you're like, that's a plug and play that makes a lot of sense.
Let's see here. Speaking of Brown and looking at possibly a fit with the Kings, John Hollinger says early bird rights. He could sign as a free agent a year from now with Denver for likely $13.6 million. Even those numbers, however, seem to badly undervalue Brown. So it's more likely he flies the coop this year. He could hang around with Denver and eventually get a bigger deal, but obviously there's risk there because he could be injured. So he can opt out, become a free agent right now.
Yeah, I always like to put ourselves in these situations.
And he was at $6.5 million, and it looks like he's going to get, pardon me, Jay, but a lot more than that from somebody this summer if that's what he does.
Impossible for us to do this because we aren't in the NBA, obviously. But if you had just won your first title, and feel you're underpaid, you're in a really good position to stay in Denver. Get paid well. I mean, they all get paid well, but you could get paid a lot more. Pick where you want to go. What do you do if you're a guy like Bruce Brown? So you got the ring. You're a big part of it, nice part of it, but you're going to compete for more, I think, in Denver.
Honestly, if it depends how much he likes it there and everything, but I could see, I would think my gut reaction would be, I won one already.
Yeah.
So let's get more money somewhere else, or at least see what our options are.
And I might like this system and this style, and maybe I get a little more playing time, and I'm going to get $22 million a year. It's like, well, I'll go do that. That's a tough one. I mean, I think it's situational, city, coaching staff, style of the team that's got to weigh into a lot of it, and money, obviously. But I mean, again, he will be paid fine if he stays in Denver, but he could be paid a lot more if he goes elsewhere.
He could sign a 1 year, I think, for like 7.7 there, and then again, it'd be a matter of re-signing later and getting more.
He's
or
leaving a lot out there.
Get more now.
Yeah, and it'd still be a good team. I mean, he doesn't have to go sign with, I don't even
Charlotte.
Right. Charlotte, where it might be a team
Isn't that
like
funny? It's harder to think of teams that are bad now, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Everybody's got something going on.
I was going to go Detroit and go Spurs. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Charlotte's a good example.
Yeah.
Maybe Houston. They're going through things, but at some point they'll get there. But I think that answer before was Sacramento. Just in general. Go sign with what? Sacramento?
Ideally, if I'm the Kings, I like Bruce Brown a lot. But if I'm the Kings, I'm looking for somebody maybe with a little more size, a little more of a classic 3-and-D wing guy. And I know Jay was making fun of me yesterday. He said, that's what everybody wants, 3-and-D wings. I was like, yeah, that's true, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
that's kind of where the league is right now.
And I think that's a need for the Kings specifically.
Yes.
You know, as opposed to, I mean, Brown could play some backcourt too. There's some charm to that, but it's like, I think that's an area of strength. But look, the team just needs more talent too. Just get better everywhere if they can. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know about a big swing for the Kings as opposed to shoring up some of your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Move that way too.
And it feels like, the big jump or big improvement might come from Keegan, or at least that's the hope. But Fox and Sabonis another full year together. Why wouldn't that be good?
Are you with me on the trade Vezenkov wagon?
For anything?
A good if I can trade him and maybe the pick and get a wing that would be an upgrade from Barnes in my starting lineup, I would consider it. I'm not going out of my way to, you got to trade this guy, but he's an asset right now. If I could get maybe even someone like OG Anunoby, I would really consider it.
So you think his value is not necessarily overrated, but at a pretty high level because we haven't seen him here?
I don't think it's overrated. I just think he's a great shooter, but I'm looking to shore up my defense. And I think there's a good chance that he's going to struggle in that area at this level.
Which
so he's a good player, but to me, it's like he doesn't address my needs.
Yeah.
I have needs.
You have needs.
Yeah.
And Anunoby would be one. Do you have any other preferences for the Kings like that you think would clearly vault them?
Yes. And I probably spent too much time on this yesterday because I don't think this guy's attainable. But to me, of all the guys that could be out there, He's restricted, really hard to get. So Cam Johnson to me would be perfect because he can guard either forward position and he can shoot threes. But again, I don't think you'd probably have to overpay vastly in your offer just to discourage the Nets from keeping him. So I don't think that he's realistically attainable. But to answer your question, I look at him and I go, man, boom, that's the guy.
I don't know how far out front offices plan. Do you have an idea on that? Like, because again, a year from now, the thought right now is that there's going to be a huge offer for Domantas Sabonis. So does that, I don't know the answer to this. Do you think that impacts a move potentially like a Cam Johnson? Like, okay, well, if you offer him a bunch and an overpay, is it going to hinder that next move? Do they prioritize that? Like, I don't know how far out they have to.
It depends on, you know this better than I do, how smart your organization is.
Yeah.
Like I was reading about how they put the Nuggets together. 2011, the Nuggets had Carmelo Anthony, and he was going to be a free agent. So it's a trade deadline, 2011. And he's probably going to go to the Knicks. And Donnie Walsh, the GM of the Knicks at the time, was like, I'm not trading for him because we're going to get him eventually. And Dolan, the owner, said, oh, yeah, we're going to trade. We're going to trade a pick, and we're going to trade a bunch of stuff, and we're going to get him now. So they make that trade 2011. One of the picks, and Donnie Walsh, by the way, was gone after that. One of the picks that the Nuggets got for Carmelo ended up being Jamal Murray.
Wow.
Yeah. So see, you don't think ahead.
Right.
Like, we're going to get him now.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Kings are short-sighted.
Not this group doesn't seem like they are.
Yeah.
And then, if you get where other teams, I think they are like, I think the Lakers, the moves they made sense, but I think they did it to make a run this last year with some help into next year.
You kind of have to be probably if all your eggs are in the LeBron basket
right.
when he's,
they're in a different spot than they're in a different spot than the Kings. Yeah, you're right. Because you don't want to waste that and go, hey, well, we missed the playoffs again with LeBron. Like you go for it. Yeah.
I don't know what to expect from the Lakers this offseason. I just know they don't like D'Angelo Russell. I don't like him either. Dylan Brooks, you like Dylan Brooks on the Kings?
I don't.
Thank you. I don't either.
Okay.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Cam
a polite
Johnson?
pass. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
In general.
Jakob Poeltl?
No thanks.
Oh, wow.
I like him, but where am I going to play him? Is Sabonis going to be a 4 then, or what am I going to do?
I don't know. Both hybrid 5-4. Like they both kind of patrol those minutes.
Jerry Reynolds' guy is Naz Reid.
Oh man, I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah.
But then is he off the bench or is he a 4?
Whatever.
Yeah.
All of that
just
and
utilized.
more. Yeah.
Okay.
Up next, this kidney stone of an A's to Vegas bill. It may actually pass today. That's coming up next. Chris and Co. Jay Ross, Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
You've heard all of his greatest hits.
I don't want to be anything other than what
And now's your chance to see Grammy-nominated multi-platinum singer-songwriter Gavin DeGraw live at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville.
you ask me how I'm doing.
Get your tickets now to see Gavin DeGraw Friday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. Only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins 20 grand, guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings, hey, just wing it.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets have won their first NBA championship with a 94-89 comeback victory in Game 5 against the Miami Heat.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 people can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written across the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly MLB owners meeting and as Nevada State Legislature moves into a 4th day of special session debating the merits of the athletics stadium proposal. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to Whitey Gleason and Jason Ross on Chris and Company.
Well, Jay Ross, today's a big day, or tonight's a big night, I should say, at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. I know they don't call it that now, but I don't know what they call it now.
Ring Central Coliseum.
Ring Central Coliseum. Yeah, that's fine. Feel right. The Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Yeah.
Last time you were there.
Last time I was there, probably I think it was like Father's Day weekend 2013, something like that. I used to work at the flagship. We used to go out there all the time. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I got to throw out the first pitch.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I did okay. I threw a little cutter, and Bob Melvin said, "You better have thrown that well, or you were going to hear about it from me because he's going to show it."
Okay. Yeah. You were on the mound, though, right?
I went in the front of the mound, and I took some grief.
By choice?
Yeah. Took some grief for that.
I'm not happy about that. You didn't have to admit it. I wasn't there. You could have said I was on the mound.
I'm being honest with you.
You were.
That's like
why?
That's
why was that
ground.
The choice? What? Oh, it was because it's sacred ground, or were you nervous about getting it there?
Well, I mean,
yes. But you got it there. That's it. So you either have to just get it there, just play it cool and get it there, or just something that gets on YouTube is like the worst throw ever.
I guess so. I haven't done the worst throw ever, but the first time I threw out a pitch at the A's game, I was a little overamped and I did bounce it because I just overthrew it and released it too late. And so it bounced in front of home plate, and the catcher, Mickey Tettler, catches it. And then the next guy's like, "I know, also throwing out the first pitch is some guy from Safeway." And he was out the first pitch, right? So then I walk up to Mickey Tettleton, and he holds his mitt out, and I go to grab a ball, and he goes, "That's not your ball." And he takes the one I threw, turns it over, big skid mark. He goes, That's your yours. Ball. Yeah. Thanks, Mick.
Do you still have that ball?
I don't think I do.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Do you remember a guy named Britt Reams? You ever heard of him? I do. Okay. He was with the River Cats for a while.
Yeah.
I was throwing out the first pitch at a River Cats game, and for some reason I got the brilliant idea, I'm going to snap one off. I'm going to throw a curve. So I didn't quite get on top of it, and Brett Reams is in the crouch, and he looks up, and I'll never forget this. He looks over his head, and he goes, "Oh, curveball," and he just watches it go over. He didn't even stand up to try to catch it.
Oh, it was that high?
Yeah, and it didn't break.
It didn't
It had
curve.
the spin. He goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, curveball," and he just watched it go over his head.
I think you should have brought out for all the years at the old station the wiffle ball.
Yeah, that would have been something.
And just had that thing dance around.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you just switch balls.
Yeah.
And now you got a wiffle
Mickey
ball.
Tettleton couldn't have handled that.
Come on. He was more of a
Couldn't have
hitter.
handcuffed him.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Defend your position.
So I guess you're not going out tonight?
I'm not, and I'm trying to understand. I understand the thought behind the reverse boycott, but to me, like it needed to be filled, and the game hasn't happened yet. That's not the report that there's going to be, 35,000. You're going to have what? Reports of like 15, which is way above the norm. But
I saw something on Twitter today. I don't know what's accurate, but they were close to 30. 20.
Are they? Oh, then
and,
that's better.
That's the last I saw.
That's a lot better.
I put 20,000 in the headline just to play it safe.
Okay.
Like they'll probably hit 20,000. Anything above that, we're not sure.
Yeah. Again, I'll double check that, but because I was thinking the same thing you were. I saw something today about 14,000. Then on Twitter a little while ago, saw something about I think more than 25.
Yeah. Like so. What's your guess this year when they play the Giants? How many will be there? Because the Giants aren't sold out every game anymore.
Right.
That used to be filled, and it might have been filled mainly with Giants
it
fans.
depends. Weekend, I guess.
Yeah,
They'll be
a good number.
25.
Okay. But this normally it's the Rays, even though they're great, that just wouldn't. It's a Tuesday night, wouldn't have had a big draw. And I get the kind of bonding. Let's show, and then worrying that people that are. What's the first 10,000 get the sell shirts from that group that's kind of forming this. I don't think it's going to do anything for Fisher.
It's going to get some attention anyway.
Yeah.
And it will, at least to a degree, push back on this narrative that the A's had to move because fans don't come out. So,
yeah, that's not the narrative.
No.
I mean, to me, it's
it
not.
is the narrative. It's just not
correct.
right.
It's not the actual story.
Yeah.
Correct. And, I personally think, I don't know what your take on this, Whitey. I don't know. This is my opinion. I don't have enough facts behind this, but I think Fisher
Hot take coming.
is looking for the fastest way to increase the valuation of the team to ultimately sell. And I think in his mind, that route is let's get to Vegas, then I'll sell. And I think that's just personally, I think that's a terrible way to do it, but it's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. It almost it sounds to me as if their thinking now is not even long-term. It's more short-term. We have to have a stadium plan in place by, I think it's January, in order to continue to receive revenue sharing.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. They're trying to meet this deadline. And there's one other deadline as well.
Well, Vegas, don't they have their own deadline too?
I think so.
On the session, different things there. So, I mean, again, and also from Vegas's perspective, I think they wouldn't mind having baseball. I don't think they want the A's.
The other deadline that I was trying to think of is, and I'm not sure where this is, the reporting's been a little sketchy because baseball, I don't think, has really come out and made this clear. But they have said, baseball said, we will waive the relocation fee, but I believe that's conditional on the A's having some kind of deal in place by a certain time.
Yeah.
So to me, the A's are racing against these two timelines. And then if they reach them, it's like, well, we'll figure out the rest later.
Right. Dual timelines didn't work for the Warriors.
Did it? They won a championship.
Oh, good point.
But you're right. It didn't really work. From the Nevada Review Journal, we have the Nevada Assembly set to hold an informational hearing this morning. I haven't heard anything about that yet. Scheduling of a hearing in the Assembly before the Senate has voted on the measure suggests, according to the Nevada Review Journal, proponents believe they will reach the 11-vote threshold necessary to pass Senate Bill 1 out of the upper house.
Interesting. Okay.
That's why they delayed it Thursday. They met Wednesday night. Then Thursday, they're supposed to get together. And then it was like, oh, we're adjourning. People say, well, that's because they didn't have the votes.
Yeah.
So somebody's been working, the back channels. Politicians do what politicians do.
They do.
And some seem to think that they have the votes. Now, they only need 11. At last count, according to reports, there were 8 that were leaning yes, 8 leaning no, and 5 undecided.
All of this in the end, I don't know where it's going to end up. I just feel for the Oakland area, right? You lose the Raiders, you lose the Warriors. Now the Warriors are still in the general area, but they're not right there in Oakland anymore. And then potentially losing the A's. There's so much history there. Yeah, they need a new stadium. I like the waterfront idea.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the renderings there? All of that looked awesome to me.
Yeah.
Now I'm not funding it. I don't know how they, build it and all that and jobs and different things, but it looked ideal to me. But
yeah, one of the big differences, obviously, between the Fisher group and say the Haas group, the Haas family that bought the A's from Charlie Finley, they felt some community obligation.
Mm-hmm.
They felt like we have a role in the community and the team is part of that. And Fisher obviously just doesn't feel that at all. And, that's his right. He doesn't feel any obligation.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem in Vegas too. And some of the politicians there are trying to get him to, hey, you give us something to work with. This is from the LA Times. Bill Shakin wrote this. He says, there's a small group of specialists who negotiate stadium deals from coast to coast. I talked to one who has worked on MLB deals for years. He is not involved in the Vegas deal, but he is astounded at how Fisher and Cavill have failed at the basic give and take that accompanies any negotiation. In a public hearing Wednesday, several legislators they practically pleaded for Fisher and Cavill to give them something, help us get to a yes vote, a vote that we can defend to our constituents. One legislator asked the A's to consider a 9% ticket tax, and the stadium negotiator is flabbergasted that the A's dodged these requests.
Yeah. I don't feel for Dave Cavill, but he's been put in a difficult spot because I don't know what the A's truly want, what Fisher really, really wants.
Right.
I mean, probably everything given to him. Hey, just welcome us in, build us a stadium, and we'll go forward. Well, it's not that simple. And so then when you get put in a spot where you're asked some difficult questions, if you don't have the answers with clarity, then you just fumble around. And that's what he did.
Someone have known before the decision was maybe him. Maybe he should have said, I don't really know.
I'm the messenger.
Yeah.
But then where's Fisher?
Right.
So that's why all of it seems shaky to me. And, that's probably where I would fall in line if I was voting. Like, I don't buy this. I don't buy your group. I don't think we're supporting football now. Hockey, hopefully tonight we win a championship. We got a very good WNBA team. There's a lot of rumors that we're getting an NBA team. We're a city that doesn't really need this. We would take it, but we don't need it. Maybe we'll take it, but when the time is right and there's expansion.
Yeah, the discouraging thing to me is no one's riding to the rescue. Like the commissioner, the other owners, they actually want this situation in Oakland resolved.
Yeah.
They don't care about the fans. They're the ones driving this narrative that, well, Fisher had to move the team.
Yeah.
So the commission's not doing anything. The other owners are just like, yeah, we need to move on with this so we can then get the Tampa Bay stadium situation resolved and we can expand.
Yeah.
They don't care at all about the A's fans. So that's why it almost feels inevitable that at some point, maybe this is delayed. Maybe they struggle with getting the votes, but they're going to get the votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not mine.
No,
Yeah.
certainly not. Yeah. Well, the citizens of Vegas apparently like, no, we don't like it at all. Those who even care about it don't want it.
Right. That's the thing. I don't understand what Vegas's thought is on this. Like, yeah, but not the A's.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Coming up next, he may not understand the concept of speaking into a microphone, but the Nuggets owner, he's done an amazing role next on Chris and Company, J. Ross and Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready.
We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
For nearly 20 years since Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course opened near the banks of the Sacramento River, it's been Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Perry Dye of the famous Dye family of golf course architects designed the course to be an easy walk, but motorized carts are available as well. You and your friends of all abilities will find Bartley Kavanaugh featuring a brand new tap room is a great place to play golf. After your round, relax on the outdoor veranda overlooking the course with a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit bartleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Jason Ross and Whitey Gleason here, Chris and Company. Chris is on his way.
Yeah.
So, J. Ross, I'm sure you know this. What two teams now, NBA teams, have never been to the finals? Or is
There's
it
only
one?
two?
Is it one or two? Yeah.
Grizzlies.
Right?
Yep.
There may be more than two. The Clippers also. Clippers have never been to the finals.
Does the Hornets Pelicans franchise count?
Yeah. How many? I guess it should be how many have never won. How many have never won an NBA championship?
Oh, yeah.
There's more there. I think
Yeah.
obviously you get Orlando, but they've been to two.
Uh-huh. Isn't it interesting the Denver Nuggets after they're 46 years, 47?
Yeah.
That's the longest that any franchise has gone from its inception to its first NBA title.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
the old record was the Cavs in 2016.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember, you'll remember too. I remember when like the Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Timberwolves, like those new teams came in and you're thinking, and they were so bad at the beginning. I mean, just awful, but that's part of the way it works. When the Bobcats arrived, it's like, oh, just terrible expansion teams.
The Grizzlies.
Yeah. But then it's, takes some time and you get some picks, you do it right. And, Miami's been a very successful organization.
Mm-hmm.
And Denver's had some ups and downs for sure. They had some good teams way back when. Carmelo was a part of some good teams in the 80s. They always ran into the Lakers. And then they had a stretch there. They were awful. But here they are, back on top for the first time.
Brooklyn Nets have never won a title. They won an ABA title as the New York Nets. Charlotte, Indiana, they've been to the finals. Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, Minnesota Timberwolves, New Orleans Pelicans, Orlando Magic, Utah Jazz, and
Wow.
the team that's been around the longest without winning a title, the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, man.
You just brought up an interesting point there. Of the original 4 ABA teams, the Nuggets are only the second to win a championship.
That's right. The Spurs and the Nuggets and the Nets and Pacers have not. Do you know the Nuggets used to be the Denver Rockets?
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the part that's confusing. Like, I still feel like the Kings haven't won a championship, but yes, I know they have. And it's like you extend it out to past iterations. But yeah.
Would you get spoiled if you were owning a team like Stan Kroenke? I know you guys were talking about this today on a Carmichael Dave show with Jason Ross. And he, of course, now has won the NBA title, he and his wife and his son. And they also own the Rams, so they won a Super Bowl, and the Colorado Avalanche, so they've won a Stanley Cup all in the last 2 years. They've won the Super Bowl and the Stanley Cup and the NBA championship.
Wouldn't get spoiled. I'd love it. I don't think, but I the more I think about it, would you want to be an owner of a team? Like, I think of the high profile, like, I think I'd love to be a GM. I say that, and then, you get hired to get fired. But that seems like crafting a team. I'm not saying that you're not part of it as an owner. You're writing some checks. And
I would want to be an owner just because you get the owner's box. You go to any game and invite anybody you want. And
would you sit with the people or sit down low?
It's a good question, J. Ross. I'd have a double who would sit with the people.
A cardboard cutout.
People would think that I was sitting with the people.
Well, he's with the fans. Whitey's always loved the fans. He's one of us up in the upper deck, and it's like not even real. It's like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
He's the dead
Probably
guy.
front row. I'd do that front row thing, I guess. I don't know. I always admired, remember, I think his name was Bill Davidson, the owner of the Pistons when they were the bad boy Pistons. And he never talked. People didn't know, and they'd show him in the luxury box. And he had like a windbreaker on, and he's just sitting there. Like, I think I would want to be that kind of owner.
He saved his money.
Yeah. And he, they won championships, but he just stayed out of the way.
And didn't have to be on the mic and talking in front of everybody and tell everybody how great they are.
Owners aren't like that anymore.
No.
I remember when the Kings hired George Karl, and I was doing a show with Mark Kreidler, and we had Woj on, and I asked him, why in the world would somebody like George Karl, who we know is very outspoken, why would he work for a team like the Kings, whose owner at the time was, very hands-on? Woj said, that's the way it is with owners now. If you're going to take a job as an NBA coach, you've got an owner who's very hands-on. That's just the nature of it now.
That is different. And I remember, I don't know who's the first one to start that, but a lot of them, when they come in, I remember Mark Cuban was very loud, very vocal, very present, and then made some mistakes. And then, as he's gone on, like, I think he's by and large a pretty good owner. But, I think a lot of guys come in and I know how to do it because I ran this business successfully.
Right.
Well, it's not the same.
And also, I mean, trying to see it from their point of view, which was hard to do with, with the paychecks I'm pulling in. But I mean, you're paying that much money. You would say, hey, I'm not going to sit back and let somebody else run this.
That's true.
For as much as billions of dollars I paid for this.
Yeah. And it's my name is on it.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way.
Fertitta is on this thing. So,
so let's go.
Yeah.
But Kroenke, I mean, what a run he's on, though. Good for him.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Plus, he owns, I know Jay Mars was running that down on your show.
Yeah.
He owns the SoFi, and I think you guys were talking about a National Lacrosse League championship or something.
He's doing all right for himself, and then they're winning everywhere. I mean, a lot of these guys are obviously successful in so many different things they do, but I don't know if it ends up being a toy for them, a hobby, something they enjoy. But then when you're crowned champs, it's not easy to do. That's pretty awesome.
Why does he not understand how to talk into a microphone?
What's that?
What are you
saying over here?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was bizarre.
Yeah. Stan, do we have it? Yeah. Stan Kroenke last night receiving the NBA championship trophy from Lisa Salters of ABC.
The fans in this town are unbelievable, as you can see, Lisa. Unbelievable. And so it means a lot to us to be able to get this done. And the fans, we couldn't have done it without them.
Now, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
If you saw it, though, that Lisa Salters has the microphone out for him to speak into, and he's talking into her ear.
It looks like he was telling her a secret.
Yeah, I want to make sure you can hear me and all this commotion. Like, hello!
I can hear you better if you talk into the microphone.
But she was not entirely comfortable with it either, right?
It was a close talk.
Why are you talking in my ear?
So my experience,
here's the microphone.
My experience with that was watching it on mute, and so I can only see him doing this. I can't hear what he's doing. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Why is he? Because the camera can't move around Lisa Salters' head because he's like right next to her ear. So it's like the side of Lisa Salters' face and half of Stan Kroenke in the camera shot.
Maybe, hey, they just won an NBA championship. Cut him some slack. He's thinking of other things. Yeah, we have heard owners.
How's this thing work?
Yeah, we've heard owners in other sports, maybe sound a little tipsy when they're winning those trophies. He didn't sound like that at all.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if he was that way, it'd be understandable. It just seemed like he was, I don't know. Lisa, let me tell you, Lisa, what's really going on.
Maybe it was the altitude.
Weird. That's yes.
It's throwing him off. Yeah. He had not quite adjusted. Yeah.
And then I guess this is just the first of many. That's what everyone's saying for Stan Kroenke and the Denver Nuggets dynasty.
Could be. I mean, you can't see it until it starts to develop, but you could see the trend, the pattern, why it could be one. It's so difficult to win a championship. There are other qualified teams. They're amongst the list, though.
They're young, dominant, best team in the West. The thing that I think is really good about the Nuggets being the champions for the NBA is that the Nuggets took the regular season seriously. Not all teams did this year.
Yeah.
And, the NBA, that's an issue for them because you have all these games on TV and some of them don't seem to matter. So they're trying to come up with the midseason tournament to make regular season games matter. And they had a team like the Heat that just kind of tried to figure it out during the regular season.
Yeah, I think honestly it's part of the Kings' success too. I mean, they were good.
Absolutely.
But they took it seriously. I don't know that they'll have a better season as far as win-loss total and health and all that. They could be a better team. But yeah, the Kings won't be chasing the same goals next year. Now, they could want more home court advantage, but there are only 2 teams better than them in the West. Their goal will be, hey, get to the playoffs and advance. I mean, that's where they'll be. Now, Denver's in that spot of, I don't think they're the type of team to mail it into the regular season because they know, hey, how did they win it? They had home court all the way through. They were the best record, and they won a title. But you can't blame them if, a Tuesday night they're in Houston and like,
They did tail off a little bit towards the end of the year.
Did, but it was kind of locked up.
Michael Malone first started after him. You got to play harder. Do you think owners in sports, owners in the NBA, there's a learning curve? Because to me, I think you can look at Vivek, and he seems to be better
I agree.
at all of that than he was when he first took over the team.
Yeah, I think there definitely is. I mean, I think it's coming from a place of being successful to now do something that, look, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
But you may not know how to do it, and you're just not as experienced at it. And it's really, to me, I think the secret sauce is if you can hire fantastic people.
Yeah. Speaking of fantastic people.
There he is.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Hey, Chris Watkins. Wow. Look at that. Team player.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Don't even know where you flew in from.
City of Portland. Beautiful.
Oh,
beautiful,
okay.
beautiful time. But I got some. It was Dame time a couple times. All I learned from this trip is that apparently there's not 24-hour planes going. I always assume that you could always, at 3 a.m. No, I just pretty much got delayed all the way until
When was
now.
your flight originally supposed to leave?
It was supposed to leave at 10 p.m. last night, and then got delayed until 2 a.m. and then moved back and forth from 1:30 back to 2, showed up at the airport, and they said that the flight had been moved to 8:30 this morning. So
and here he is.
So times, and here I am.
Yeah.
So what you guys talking about? Anything going on this weekend? Yeah. No.
Great to see. It looks like J-Ross looks like you are off.
I know. Been relieved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for helping.
Going to the
us
right
today.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
Coming up with Chris, when's the last time the Kings ranked this high in the offseason NBA title odds? You going to lay some money on the Kings this offseason, J-Ross?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's next. Chris and company. Chris is actually here. Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over,
but Sactown sports coverage never stops.
Guys on other teams, when they look at the Sacramento Kings, they feel that this is a fun brand of basketball to play.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Have you ever needed a second chance? A chance at a do-over? Elk Grove Kia thinks everyone deserves a second chance, and yet too many folks don't get that second chance they need or deserve. Well, Elk Grove Kia wants you to know we've got you covered. With over 100 years of combined experience in financing, we have the connections and knowledge to get you the approval that others just can't. Doesn't matter if you have late payments, charge-offs, bankruptcies, or repos. If you can make the payment, we can find a way to get you on the road with a new set of keys. Elk Grove Kia can even make all this happen with little to no money down. Don't wait. Enjoy your summer with a new set of wheels. Get started today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets have won their first NBA championship. They won with a 94-89 come-from-behind victory in Game 5 against the Miami Heat.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP, goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 people can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written across the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly MLB owners meeting as the Nevada State Legislature moves into a 4th day of special session debating the merits of the athletic stadium proposal. Stay tuned to SactownSports.com for all the updates on the athletic stadium proposal throughout the day. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins.
Chris Watkins?
Yeah, Chris Watkins.
How about
He's
that?
back on Chris and Company.
Good to have you with us, Chris Watkins. Welcome home.
Yeah, feels good.
Portland, Oregon.
Yes, Portland, Oregon.
All
Rip
night
City. Woo.
Travel, all-night sojourn.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it was light. I had to make sure. You know, the Nuggets when I saw the Nuggets actually won the finals, I was like, I don't care if I have to Forrest Gump this. I gotta make sure I hit a mic tomorrow morning. So, yeah. You know, it might have been a photo finish, but yeah, I made it in. So
thank you, Jay Ross.
Happy to talk finals.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I was trying to think back to our pre-finals predictions, and I think we did pretty well. I know I had Denver in 6. You had them in 4,
Four
right?
or 5.
4 or 5. I think you did.
I'm just
I
saying.
think you did.
4.5.
Yeah, I think you did say that. I remember we both agreed this is going to be, these finals will be remembered as the Jokic finals.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say
true.
fairly so. Yeah.
And I know we had a number of other things. I do remember that I said the most disappointing Miami Heat player will be Jimmy Butler. I don't know if that's entirely fair or even true, but certainly there were moments down the stretch last night, despite his heroics, that he made a couple bad plays down the stretch, and I think he just wore down.
Yeah, he looked tired. He looked really, really tired last night, and I think you're right. He just kind of was worn out, and he got them there, but he just didn't have the juice to pull all the way through. And that's no shade or shot at Jimmy Butler. It's incredibly hard to do that, and that's why we try and reserve those superstar titles for not necessarily people who deserve it, but for a very select few people out there, because it's really, really tough to be the best player at the series when everyone is expecting you to, like Nikola Jokic just did for that long.
I can't imagine what, honest to goodness, Nuggets fans were going through last night, because we were both pulling for Denver.
Yeah.
They were driving me crazy early on with all the missed shots and just the turnovers.
Oh my
just
gosh.
like throwing the ball out of bounds. And you could clearly see, understandably, that the weight of having a chance to win a championship was weighing upon all of them.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, what are even Jokic? Like, why are you throwing the ball out of bounds?
That's how you knew it was bad. When Jokic started turning the ball over left and right, it was like, oh man. And then, you mentioned you could just feel in moments like that. I felt it in the arena for Game 7 here in Sacramento. Like, you can really feel that's almost where home court advantage is a disadvantage sometimes, where you can feel a collective 17, 18,000 people all at once. Really start to feel like,
come on,
feel the pressure, feel some angst, feel some level of, it's kind of nut crunch time right now, and I don't know if we have it. I don't know if I have it.
Last night is like, oh
my goodness. I know, a perfect opportunity to close it out. Thankfully, they ended up closing it out, but that would have been if Denver would have squandered that one last night, that would have been a tough pill to swallow.
5 for 28 from the 3-point line, 13 for 23 from the foul line, with 14 turnovers. But I think they won it by just playing really tough defense down the stretch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Which, shout out Denver, because that's not their calling card at all. I mean, their calling card is offense, and that's also credit to Mike Malone, who has been telling this team for years now that it's not just going to have to be offense that wins them the title. They were going to have to play some defense as well, and Miami absolutely stretched that. Denver shot absolutely terribly all series long. And if they didn't bring some sort of defensive level of intensity, like we saw in Game 2, there was openings for Miami to win this series, or at least have things go a little bit differently. And Denver, to their credit, their shots didn't fall, but they did all the necessary other things to still pull out the victories in 4 of these games.
Looking at the odds for next year's NBA championship, Denver is the favorite. What do you think of this talk of dynasty, Denver dynasty, Nuggets dynasty?
It's definitely some recency bias for sure. I mean, it's always tough to see the team that's up top right now falling. It's natural. It's a natural human thing to want to have to see something to truly believe it. And before this series, even 2 months ago, no one believed that Denver would be the team that would eventually pull through, and now all of a sudden they're the favorites. So I think it's probably a little premature. We have a whole off season of things to happen. Who knows? Who knows how stars move over summer? That's always going to be a factor in the NBA, especially in the off season, summertime. I think Denver's absolutely got a good shot, because you look at it, and the basic answer for every Western Conference team right now is, what's your answer for Nikola Jokic? And I don't know if anybody really has a decent answer to that question.
Do you know that this is a little before your time, but there was a TV show, a primetime soap opera on ABC called Dynasty.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, we should bring that back. Absolutely.
It took place, just as we were talking here, I was remembering, I didn't watch it, I was aware of it. It took place, it was about a wealthy family residing in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, look at that.
How about that? There's
I think
no way the Nuggets are not going to. They're not going to. I mean, they might win another one in 2 years or something, but dynasty also, I think we've watered down the bar for what constitutes a dynasty now. Let them, bless them, they won, but no, I don't think this is a start of a dynasty.
Adam Silver just rolled in his grave. I'm sorry, Adam Silver. Geez, sorry,
Oh, my
Adam.
goodness.
Didn't mean to bury you. David Stern just rolled in his grave there, hearing that Denver Nuggets might be the NBA's next dynasty. The term dynasty has really been watered down recently. I think, even do you consider the Warriors a dynasty? I think
they were.
I think you would consider it a modern dynasty, but I think in the traditional sense, a dynasty is meant to truly be like what we saw with the Patriots, what we saw with the Spurs. It's really meant to be a reign over a period of time. It's an extended period of time. And, you could argue the Warriors didn't fit that category only, maybe with the title last year. But I think, you're right. Like the dynasty term gets thrown around a little bit too much nowadays.
Well, looking at the odds for next season, when was the last time the Kings were this high on the list? So amount you could win if wagering $100, Denver Nuggets are plus 475. So if you bet 100 on them to win and they win, 475 next year. Boston at 575. Milwaukee Bucks at 700. Then
Makes sense.
At 800, what do you think? You want to guess? I know you may have seen this already.
No, Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns is exactly right. Then you got two teams at 1,100 plus 1,100. Lakers and Warriors.
I was going to say Lakers.
Ooh, I was going to think Miami would.
No, those are
all right. 1,200 then. Who do you got?
How about Miami?
Nope, they're at 1,800.
Oof, no respect.
There's two teams ahead of them that we haven't mentioned yet. There's one at 1,200 and 1,600.
Is 1,200 the Clippers?
1,200 is not. The Clippers are 1,600.
The Cavaliers?
The Cavaliers are at 3,000.
Wow.
3,000.
Okay, I was just going by
Make
seeds
some money
in my
on that.
head. I
Yeah.
know. There's a Memphis Grizzlies, maybe?
Memphis
That
Grizzlies
shouldn't
are
be.
Plus 22.
Yeah, that shouldn't be with all the uncertainty going on there. I'm literally just going down by the seedings right now.
Did we say New York Knicks already?
New York Knicks are plus 4,000.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
way.
I didn't think so,
There's
but
no
I
way.
can't think of
OKC. Maybe
OKC
people just think that there's going to be a massive
plus 6,500.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah,
are
I
you
have no
are you
idea.
telling me it's Sacramento?
No, there's
Sacramento is plus 25.
Oh, that's close. Wow. Who is it? No, I have no idea. I'm out of
Philadelphia.
Oh, see, I just didn't. I assume that everyone else is assuming that James Harden's gone and that's
Right.
over. So,
So they're plus 1,200.
Interesting.
Clippers 1,600.
Okay.
Miami 1,800.
Wow.
Memphis and the Mavericks 2,200. Then the Kings.
Wow.
So they'd be like 12th. At plus 2,500. Then the Cavs, Pelicans 3,000.
how are we already making the Miami Heat underdogs again? How many times do they have to keep getting away with this before we just say, you know what, let's just give the Heat like good odds or decent. I mean, that's the fact that they're right above the Kings. I know that they were an 8 seed, but come on. I mean, they just made the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals and are in trade conversations for Damian Lillard. That's absolutely one that I would look at.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, not that I'm
those odds. If they get
not
Dame
putting them
Lillard,
down,
those
but-
odds are going to change. But I tell you what, if you really want to make some money, bet $100 on the Detroit Pistons plus 60,000.
Whoa.
Yeah,
there you go.
Marvin
Yeah.
Bagley, James Wiseman tandem.
All they got to do is win the championship, and you get
That's it? Oh, okay.
$60,000.
Well,
Wizards 25,000, Hornets 20,000.
oof, boy. Of those ones, I guess I would put. Man, yeah. Honestly, Detroit. I guess Detroit's. The East is really top heavy, but
Would you bet on any of these teams to win the title next year? Minnesota, Atlanta, Toronto, OKC. I mentioned them. Houston, Portland, Chicago, Brooklyn, Orlando, San Antonio, Utah, or Indiana.
would I bet on any of them to win the title? No.
Okay.
No, I would not.
Because our odds range from Minnesota at plus 5,500 to the Pacers at plus 15,000.
I think Minnesota's got the best shot. I mean, even the odds say it, but I would say, Minnesota is absolutely a candidate for a team that could really make a leap next
You
year.
think Wemby's going to win the championship in his rookie year?
I think he'll be close. No, I don't. I just don't think that's going to
15,000,
happen.
huh?
Who knows? Who knows? I guess anything can happen in today's NBA, and a 7-5 center winning a title the year one, I guess, wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever heard. But that's why it's betting. That's why it's gambling.
Yeah, anything can happen in the NBA. To that point, rumors swirl around the top of the NBA draft that could change the complexion of the West. We look at that next year. Chris and company. Chris is back with us today. Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Denver Nuggets, in the middle of an NBA Finals run, have made a trade. They are acquiring from the Oklahoma City Thunder first-round picks in 2024
on the day of Game 4 of the NBA Finals.
If they lose tonight, they are not focused. They are not locked into the job at hand.
The Nuggets know they can't use the pick tonight, right?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here. Spring here. Long, cold, rainy winter behind us. And I know you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioning is working efficiently and safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from my friends at American Energy Heat and Air. Nothing worse than having your AC go out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today to make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Or schedule your appointment online like I did last year around this time at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Don't wait till that AC goes out. Call my friends today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Tell you what kind of team player Chris Watkins is. Chris Watkins was in Portland last night. His flight was delayed.
Stupid delayed is what the guy at the gate said.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, we walked up.
Do you know why?
They said, I guess people who work for airlines have a certain, have a max capacity for how many hours they can work in a given day, and they had reached that limit. And so we were not allowed to take off. Because the Southwest employees had worked 18-hour days or whatever it is. So
and he said it was stupid delay?
Yeah, we walked up to the gate and we were trying to figure out the situation. He was like, is that the flight that was delayed and then stupid delayed? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I think the very same. You mean flight 974? Yeah, exactly. That very same. Yeah, so stupid delayed.
Do you get vouchers for a free flight down the road or anything like that when a flight is delayed by that much?
They gave me a night in a hotel, and I did get $100 voucher for the next flight. So,
which you can cash out to bet on the Pistons.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll drive down to Reno. Actually, I guess I could fly down. I guess I might as well now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Go put some money down now while the odds are looking good, before people know what's happening. Obviously I have all the film for next year, so I already know what happened, but all those suckers who don't know, I can get my money in now.
Speaking of things that are a little hinky, what did you think of the foul that they called Aaron Gordon on Jimmy Butler? Then they reviewed it and said, no, it's foul on Gordon, which gave Butler a chance to tie the game with three free throws.
Collusion. The fix was in at that point. I was convinced.
Like, they sure won another game.
Yeah, I was convinced at that point. I mean, it was almost too perfect. It was Jimmy Butler hadn't done anything all game, and then that would have been, I think, that was his third, or would have been his third three in a row made. I still don't understand that. I mean, nothing about the shooting motion was natural. Yeah. Jimmy kicked Aaron Gordon.
Everybody on the Denver bench away is like, review it.
Yeah, every single person. Yeah. There was a coach up there who was like throwing it. Yes. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's about the letter of the law in terms of don't kick out on a shot. That's an unnatural motion. Yeah, that was so strange to me. And then, when it got called on a review to get, I believe it was confirmed. Yeah, for them to confirm it.
Calls upheld.
Challenge
unsuccessful.
At that point, I was like,
Aaron Gordon,
y'all aren't
what am I
slick.
supposed to do? Did you see where he kicked me? What am I supposed to do?
Aaron Gordon stopped too. It's not even like he ran through him or anything like ran through his line. He stopped before, and Jimmy kicked his legs out. Like he flat out did what you're not supposed to do.
Yes. Even Dan Gundy. That call's just wrong.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Yeah. They probably said, Oh, Steve Javi, are you available? And Steve Javi probably said, I ain't talking.
Yeah, no. I'm really
that.
glad that the game didn't come down to that.
Me
But
too.
that was definitely something where when it happened, it was like a little bit like in that moment, I was like, as a Heat fan, I guess you take it, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, yeah, for sure. Put Jimmy in the line for 3, but it's also like, that's not great, I'm kind of somebody, get the result for sure by whatever means necessary. But if that would have been how it was done, it just, I don't know. I don't know if you want to win in controversy.
Yeah, you just want to win.
Yeah,
and
you
you
just
feel
wanna-
bad about it later, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's true.
Yeah. Luckily, it didn't come to that, or
No.
else we'd be talking a lot about that.
Yeah.
We're still talking about it, but not
Now
as
it's funny.
much.
It's funny now.
A lot of people are talking about Dame Lillard, where he may go,
Yeah.
and what's going to happen with Portland, and that, of course, could have an impact on the Kings in their season next year. So Portland has the number 3 pick, which could end up being Scoot.
Yeah.
And there's reports now that New Orleans is really interested in moving up to 2 or 3 because they want Scoot, and they may be willing to trade Brandon Ingram to get it, and they may rebuild, or they may. Some people think they're going to either Charlotte or Portland may ask for Zion, and then Portland will rebuff them. If I'm New Orleans, I'm willing to trade him right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
I want to get out from under that mess.
Yeah, I mean, well, good luck with getting under him. I think, if I were the Pelicans, I was really surprised to see Brandon Ingram was the name that was initially brought up.
Yeah, me too.
I would have guessed that's.
You probably saw the same thing I did. Coaches were not overly thrilled with him this year.
Yeah, very, very strange reporting there. Yeah,
really
I wonder what that's about, because there must be some attitude or some
He was
sort
like
of
Durant
things.
light this year.
Yeah, no, he was incredible. I mean, there was points this year, especially when New Orleans was really humming. He was putting up 30 points per game, and I think he had a streak of 8 or 10 plus games of 30-10 in a row, including one against Sacramento late in the season. I remember he was absolutely incredible last season. And if I were New Orleans, I would hold on to Brandon Ingram for as long as I could. I feel like a top 2 or 3 pick is, I know the talent that's up there, but I personally would probably rather consider keeping Brandon Ingram. And I would, if I'm New Orleans, I'm looking to move Zion. Obviously, all of the off the court stuff that's going on right now with Zion is an absolute mess. You can do the research on that yourself. But also the actual basketball player Zion Williamson has a lot of questions as well. I mean,
Is
obviously,
he still a basketball player?
At this point, I don't think so. I think he's just a Jordan athlete at this point. Because we haven't seen him play basketball in a very long time. He's got questions every single year. When he plays, he's incredible, but when he does play, it's not too often. It's just hard to build your team around a guy who you don't know if he's going to be playing, and emotionally, he's inconsistent as well. Like the reports in come playoff time where he was healthy enough to give it a go if he wanted to. Zion just didn't feel like he personally felt mentally right, which is also fine. But that's, when you're coming back from injury, part of the recovery is also making sure you're emotionally and mentally right as well as physically. So he's just not someone who's really taking care of his NBA career the way that you should. And that's the route that I would go to try and rebuild. And, if I'm Portland, that's kind of where I'm sticking. I'm like, I'll take the Zion risk. And Brandon Ingram is a great player. I don't know how much of a needle mover he is, where if Zion is right, that's a really big piece for Portland.
What do you think of this?
Or
I think
Charlotte.
this would be, from the Kings' perspective, a dream trade scenario between New Orleans and Portland. Whatever the particulars are, these teams make deals involving Scoot, maybe Zion, Ingram, and both teams end up suffering greatly because of it. And then the Kings yes, right?
Exactly.
That's certainly possible.
Whatever the opposite of the Sabonis trade is, that's what we're wishing for this Portland, New Orleans situation. Absolutely. Like, if this can somehow, I mean, it really could, like, if like you continue to mention, Scoot can't shoot, and that becomes a grand problem for New Orleans or for the development of Scoot Henderson, that could be bad. Obviously it could reach a certain point before they fully realize how, it's not, maybe it's good enough to get you to a second round, but not good enough to win you a title, that kind of thing. I'm not saying Scoot's going to be bad, but also maybe in New Orleans, Zion continues to be inconsistent, and that doesn't pretty much just eliminates two Western Conference opponents right there.
New Orleans has, I think, the 14th pick, and they got 4 future number ones.
Yeah, they have tons.
And they also
of future
have
firsts.
like Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. They could
Jones.
offer in a deal.
Jackson Hayes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so they would have the wherewithal to do something. Whatever it is, I think we agree. If I remember what you said earlier, Portland has to. This is time for Portland. This is a great opportunity for them to move off of Dame.
Yeah, I completely think so. I think that's the move to me, and that doesn't sound like that's. To me, moving for Zion isn't that move. That's where Brandon Ingram makes a lot more sense for the Dame part of it, because Dame and Brandon Ingram that's a lethal scoring combination right there. But I wonder what the Blazers end up doing with this decision, because to me it's a clear indication of what's in their future. If they trade that number 3 pick, clearly they're going to try and stick it out for 1 to 2 more years with Dame and hope that they can get over the hump. But
I think, as you may know, I'm not as high on Scoot as some people, but I think Portland right now, it's right there in front of you. You draft him and you move Dame.
I agree.
And then you step into your new future, because the Dame era was wonderful. It wasn't quite what you hoped, but it's over.
Yeah, I think it's over. I think you got everything you could out of it. That was a Western Conference Finals team at best, and sometimes that's just unfortunately how the league plays out. But I think it's time for Portland to move on, and I don't think that there's any juice left to squeeze out of that Lillard era.
I agree.
In Portland.
Coming up next is the Finals MVP, actually the best player in the NBA right now. Next on Chris and Company, Watkins and Whitey, Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
Expectations coming into the season and how we performed. I mean, it's one of the more special seasons that I've had in my 11 years.
Stay tuned all off season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Leaf Guard Gutter System and Roofing.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Tuesday is looking brighter, and it's going to feel warmer outside. Expect to see mainly sunny skies with a light southwest wind. Highs today peaking in the mid-80s with overnight lows in the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
To protect your home from the top down, start from the roof line up. Get clog-free Byers Leaf Guard gutters, fire-safe roofing from Byers Roofing, and power your home with Byers Solar. Act now for $500 off Byers Leaf Guard gutters at thatsbyers.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
It ignites something inside of you. It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sactown Sports.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets have won their first NBA championship with a 94-89 come-from-behind victory in Game 5 of the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP, goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field, injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written on the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly MLB owners meetings and as the Nevada State Legislature moves into a 4th day of special session debating the merits of the athletic stadium proposal. Stay tuned to SactownSports.com for all the updates on the A's stadium deal. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to Chris and Company with Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins.
All right, Chris Watkins, as we look ahead to next season for the Kings and we look at their what could be a very interesting and busy offseason, does Bruce Brown do anything for you? Potential free agent to be, he's got a player option. Most people look at what he's making, what he could make, and say, oh, yeah, he's going to opt out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I really like Bruce Brown, the player. The fit for Sacramento isn't perfect. I really like Bruce Brown just as a, he's a Swiss Army guy, Swiss Army knife kind of guy where he can do a little bit of everything. I think the problem for the Kings is they probably need a little bit more forward help. Just a guy who's a little bit taller.
I'm right there with you.
To me, that's kind of the only reason. Yeah, that's the only reason why I think the Kings shouldn't go after a guy like Bruce Brown. Maybe if he were still, for some lower dollar figure like he might have been coming into this year, but I just can't see Bruce Brown moving forward making, I think he'll make probably more than $10 million a year, if not somewhere near that, just as a really important role player. And I think he's going to be a great role player on whatever team he goes to. But I just don't think that this is exactly what the Sacramento Kings need. And unfortunately, they're kind of in a spot where they can't really cast a wide net. They kind of need very specific player models.
A couple of interesting thoughts here before we get back to the conversation on the YouTube chat. We have from something battle R4P. What happens when
great name
when refs disagree? I say it was a kick. He says no. Talking about, of course, the review last night.
Yeah.
Basically, when it goes to review, it's whatever Secaucus says.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. Even if the two guys were there.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Gotcha.
Once it goes to Secaucus, then it's whatever Secaucus says.
Right.
As far as if it's just the 3 refs, I think they defer to whoever they decide had the best
view of it. Yeah, that's usually
obviously
how
if you have 3 guys, it's like 2 say yes, 1 says no.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You lose, Charlie.
Yeah, they're also human.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Manny, too legit. Jamal Murray came back from an injury. I feel like Zion can too. And then Dwayne Baker says, does Zion look like he's really busting his butt to get back like Murray did?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really the thing with Zion. That's the problem, is he just doesn't really look like he has the work effort right now in order to come back. There's a certain level of dedication that you have to have off the floor, especially to kind of molding and crafting your body. And I know that's kind of Zion's thing, is his big frame with his athletic tools. But if he wants to last until the age of 35 in the NBA, he's got to fix his body. I mean, you just can't, like, you might be able to do all that stuff when you're in your early 20s, but let me tell you, I mean, it's we can all tell you, as you get older, it just gets harder and harder for your body to do the things that you're able to do when you're in your early 20s, especially when you're at a little bit more of an advanced weight than what your typical athlete would be. It's just your knees and your feet. Like, these guys, I know that especially Zion is a ridiculous athlete, but he's also human, and his body will break down the same way that everybody else's does as well.
Friend of mine on Facebook, a guy I played basketball with, he was a boxer too, Dave Smith. He just on Facebook, he said, you get to a certain age and that check engine light comes on.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, like, really, like, these guys all have miles on him, and like Zion's 22 years old right now. He's 22. So yes, he has time to figure it out, but on the same token, like, he doesn't, like, if he doesn't figure it out soon, it's going to be too late, because I mean, he's 22 and already having this many injuries. Again, your body's just going to feel that wear more and more and more, and it's going to get harder and harder to get back to the guy that you were previously. And the problem is Zion also just hasn't had enough reps in the NBA, like real NBA games played, to really develop. I mean, he's still the same guy that we saw when
Learning
he entered
how to play
the league.
NBA basketball.
Exactly. Like, he's a terrific athlete, and that gets him to a certain point in the NBA. That's able to get him to 25 and 10, which is incredible. But we saw it with Ben Simmons. At some point, you have to develop actual NBA skills if you want to have longevity in the NBA. It's just not going to work.
Scooter 916 says, I don't know, but have you or anyone else seen Ben Simmons lately?
Hey,
Looks
now.
like he's recharged and trying to change himself. He's absolutely ripped now.
Guess what? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't, Scoot.
It doesn't matter.
Right now, it doesn't matter what you look like in June.
No, it's also like, I mean, Ben
I
Simmons,
hope so.
I say Ben
see it.
Simmons. Yeah, Ben Simmons is a good example for Zion just in terms of body maintenance, but everything else, I would not follow Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons being in terrific shape tells me absolutely nothing about his basketball game. That was never a question with his game. He's always really been in good shape. He's a great athlete. He's 6'10" and can move like a guard, but the problem is he doesn't shoot the basketball. So even when I see videos of him taking and making threes during the summer, I'm not going to believe it. I need to see it in an NBA game, and I need to see some sort of mentality flip from Ben Simmons in order for me to actually believe that that's
One of
real.
my favorite memes is the Ben Simmons cycle, where it goes start of season, plays bad, back injury, off-season workout video, and then the cycle goes in a circle.
yeah.
We're at the off-season workout video part of the cycle.
Someone mentioned on the YouTube chat Jamal Murray. That got to me a little bit. I mentioned this earlier, Chris, but Jamal Murray breaking down last night because I like a lot of people. I was watching the game against the Warriors in which he was injured and seeing how far he's come. You know, he bubbled. Jamal was so great, and then it's like his career was in question, and now he's an NBA champion, and that got to me a little bit. Good for him.
No, I mean, like, that's why we watch sports sometimes is for those kind of stories. You know, like that's part
It's
of being
inspirational.
like exactly. It's really like that's the kind of thing that you could take into your real life. As corny as it sounds, like, you know, sometimes
If he did that.
exactly.
I can,
You can put your mind to it. You can flip it, or you know, some people deal with injuries as well in their real life. Like that's you know, whether it be emotional or actually physical as well. Like it's just being able to at your lowest moment, you know, which there's no lower moment. And I know Mike Malone also told the story of when an athlete is down and out and when you're injured, that's all that they know. And every athlete's fear is going to be, well, what if I can't, again, like I mentioned with Zion, what if I can't get back to the place where I was at? What if I'm Derrick Rose? What if this is the injury that makes me never the same ever again? And it's always just me trying to go back to that moment. It's a very real thing for every athlete out there. It doesn't matter, football, baseball, basketball,
I think
tennis,
Klay
golf.
Thompson's still dealing with it.
Everybody, Klay Thompson, the mental factor of it all. Like that's a very, very real thing. Mike Malone tells the story of Jamal Murray walking up to him crying, saying, please don't forget about me when he's injured. Like that's the kind of emotional trauma that these guys go through. And then to see, you know, however long ago that 16, 18 months later, Jamal Murray coming out on the other side of being that same person, but being at the top of the mountaintop where I'm sure he never in his wildest dreams really thought when he was going through all of that injury rehab that he was going to be here. Like that's why we watch sports, is for stories like that.
Is Jokic the best player in the world, or did he just look like it in these playoffs because of the matchups and other factors?
That's kind of what I'm struggling with is, I mean, regardless, he's top 2, top 3, like unquestionable. I think the only contenders right now are Giannis, who's not as skilled as Jokic. So I would give Jokic that you know, check mark. Embiid is really the other questionable one where, Embiid, he won the MVP this year. He's every bit maybe as skilled as Jokic, but we've just never seen Embiid really use his physicality the same way that Jokic did, while also just having a level of control over the game. Jokic is just a way better passer than him. Embiid's a little bit easier to get frazzled and maybe get into his own head a little. What Nikola Jokic just kind of did and put his head down for the past 2 months in these 4 series and really just took care of business. It's really tough to argue that he's not the best in the NBA. I think he's got to have it right now. And I'm trying to not have recency bias on that. But again, I think Giannis is his biggest competition. And to me, skill wise, there's just no real conversation there.
I wonder if the fact that he did not win the MVP this year, if that gave him any extra motivation. He's not the type that would say that, but if that gave him any extra motivation for the playoffs. But obviously he doesn't have some of the physical skills that some of the other players have that we're talking about. But to me, he more than makes up for that. His feel for the game is just, it's very rare.
Yeah.
It's really unique. Even last night, he had 28 last night and he was 12 of 16,
Nuts.
but it was all in the flow to the extent that anyway, I didn't realize, wow, he only missed 4 shots.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because he's not like, give me the ball and get out of my way. He's playing the game.
So
and his sense of anticipation as well, to me, makes him the best player on the planet right now.
Yeah.
It's close, but I think he is.
No, to me, I think I'm right there with you. Yesterday, something that really jumped out to me was just, obviously that was the 5th game of the series. The speed, and it's a little bit funny saying this about Nikola Jokic, but the speed at which he was playing with, not necessarily pace, but he would get the ball in the middle of the paint when Miami's running their zone. No hesitation at all. Like he just knows how to diagnose things. He knows how to get things so quick.
Yep.
And it's just a level of comfort that he just knows everything that's
like
going
Brock
on.
Purdy.
You can't break him.
He processes things like Brock Purdy.
Supposedly. I just got here, Whitey. You really want me to leave this early?
No, that's what Brock Purdy supposedly does so well.
Allegedly, yes. No, you're right. He does. That is absolutely Brock Purdy.
Anti-Brock Purdy.
No, I'm not. I'm more just anti-Niners. It's a bit. It's a bit. No, you're right though. It is like some elite level processing. Like he probably would have scored similarly as Brock Purdy did on that. Not the Wonderlic test,
S2
whatever.
Or whatever.
The S2 cognition test.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet Jokic's S2 cognition test is right up there.
Yeah.
He could Jokic if he were to enter this year's NFL draft, tough to not take that guy in the second or third round. Great passer, size. Bryce Young's got a lot of size questions.
This isn't fair, but did you feel like Peyton Manning was it's like stealing the spotlight a little bit? It's like, sit somewhere else. You were a quarterback for the Broncos a long time ago. We don't need you. We don't care what you think of the Nuggets.
It did take me about 10 seconds to connect all the. I was like, why is Peyton Manning there? Does he own someone? Does he? And then I was like, and then I had the realization, he was a Broncos quarterback for 2 years as he was really, really bad. Also, I don't know if Denver people like to bring that up.
Bless him, but I just thought,
I thought the same about Russell Wilson as well. After the season
And
Russ had last year,
maybe
second or third row. I don't know if Russ is still deserving of a front row.
They were struggling for
Sean
celebrities.
Payton was in the second or third row. I was
after the year Russell Wilson had last year, watch it at home. Stay home and watch it.
Honestly, I wouldn't want that within 100 yards of the stadium. Absolutely not.
Coming up next today in sports history, is any of it worth remembering? That's next. Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Because the UFO's not in their driveway, Rami. It's miles away.
I feel like we would have seen it.
I'm saying you don't like the quality of the video that we have.
Because we have clear video of everything that happens everywhere. John Morant is flashing guns, and every time it happens, somehow it's on Instagram. Nobody's got a clear shot of an alien or a UFO of non-human origin.
What are you failing to pick up that I'm putting down?
What are you failing to pick up that I'm putting down here?
It's thousands of miles away, Rami.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
But do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
What is that? Meditation? I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep, switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please, gamble responsibly, 1-800-GAMBLER.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey guys, June is Men's Health Month, and Revive Men's Health encourages you to prioritize your health. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah, Chris and I were all over these NBA Finals with your prediction of Denver in 4 or 5.
Or 5.
Yeah.
I made sure to throw that caveat out.
Right on the money?
Yeah. Well, again, I learned a valuable lesson of never, ever, ever say that it's going to be a sweep, no matter how much you think it's going to be. So now I know, that if I could go back, I would have, shockingly, I would have said Denver in 5 looking back. But I just thought there wasn't. And at every game, it really panned out. And we talked about it a little last week, but Denver was just way too big for them. There was no way. At no point, even in the game that Miami ended up winning, they never were able to figure out the Jokic problem. They never had any form of answer, not for lack of trying, but just they didn't have anybody that they could throw on Nikola Jokic to even slow him down or make him work. Everybody, even was it Cody Zeller? Cody Zeller didn't stand a chance. He was really their only person with size. They tried to throw him out again last night. Didn't work. And that was really the end for Miami. I know they said they were going to try and take out Jamal Murray, but that was kind of why I had so much faith in Denver. It's not just Jamal Murray that's able to get buckets for Denver. They have a ton of guys who are capable of playing.
The rebounding numbers 57-44 in favor of Denver. The offensive rebounding numbers were even, but field goal attempts, this is kind of unusual. Denver had 84 and Miami, the losing team, had 96.
Wow.
96 attempts, but they only made 5
massive.
fewer than Denver made.
Yeah, and that's the problem is Miami's offense also just let them down all series long.
And they had to work.
They had to work
quarter.
for everything, and they just were never in any of these games were able to really get their offense going after averaging a ton of points in that Celtics series. The Heat only scored over 100 points once this entire series, and it was the game that they won game two.
Right? 111, 108.
And so to me, that was another issue. Was not only was Denver's offense incredible, but what ended up playing out through the regular season played out in the finals. Finally, the Miami Heat were the worst offense in the NBA, pretty much all regular season long. And that was going to be a big uphill battle for them to climb against a highly efficient Denver team. They were just never going to be able to score with them at the pace that they score.
Speaking of the NBA Finals, that brings us to On Chris & Co. Is that worth remembering? I have a couple of dates that happened, this date in sports history. We'll run over them real quickly here, Chris, and then you and I have to decide, and I defer to you, of course.
Okay.
Are any of these things really worth remembering, or is it like, no, you didn't even need to mention that. Nobody cares. Okay?
Gotcha. Is this a rapid fire?
No, it's however.
Okay, gotcha.
Some of these I think, it depends. Some of them I think deserve some discussion.
Okay.
Some of them you may feel like,
We'll
no,
see.
that doesn't deserve any discussion.
All right.
This date, 1997.
Okay.
You had Steve Kerr hit the winning shot to give the Bulls a 90-86 victory over the Utah Jazz, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, giving Chicago its 5th championship in 7 years.
Michael, 6 seconds, 5. Michael in traffic to Kerr, 15-footer.
Yeah, Michael won Game 1 in the same situation. We knew they wouldn't let him do it again, Steve Kerr said. At the last time out, I was sitting down by Mike watching him. He sat there for about 30 seconds. Then he turned to me and said, "Be ready, Stockton's coming off me." I said, "Okay, I'll make it." You know what's really funny about that? And I know they talked about this in The Last Dance. I was watching the video again today. So they're sitting there, and Michael's sitting there, and he kind of turns towards Kerr. He's like, "Hey, they're going to come off of me." So he's trying to make sure Utah doesn't know what he's saying. And Kerr's like, yes. Yeah, all right, yes.
He's like, I got you.
You
Michael.
to me, and I will shoot.
It is really, really funny to watch it back. I got you. Yes.
And Jordan's like,
yeah,
like a ventriloquist or something.
I love the story that's or the way that Steve tells that story at the parade as well, where he's like, 3 seconds left. I gotta bail Michael out again. You know how that goes. And Steve is just like an all-time great personality that we have in basketball.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with that's something that we got to remember. I mean, that's something that's even an example that we use here to, through today's game where, everybody can say, yes, go ahead. Yeah. We talked about it at the start of this playoffs. It was a big topic of conversation. Should your star always take the game-winning shot? I mean, ideally, yeah, that's great. But we have this shining example of even Michael Jordan,
right?
Maybe, the most selfish basketball player that we ever had.
93 too with Paxson.
He did it in the middle of the run as well, like in the peak of his powers, was still willing to pass the ball to lowly Steve Kerr, who made the shot, which is the important thing. Not only did Michael pass it, but it's about having the faith in your teammate to also take care of business and hold up their weight as well. To me, it's the shining example of even the most selfish person that we have in sports understood that it takes a team to win.
To me, a guy like Giannis, who's phenomenal, to me, he would have been reluctant, the way I saw him play this year, to give the ball up because he felt like, nope, I'm Giannis. I'm the one that's got to make the play for us.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, even Michael realized, well, sometimes the best play is somebody else shooting
right.
the ball.
I mean, it's probably a great example for Kobe Bryant as well, who really struggled with the same kind of criticism of this guy doesn't share the ball. He really wants to always take the biggest shots, whether it's for the best of the team or not. And even Kobe had to learn, and I'm sure Kobe would also reference Michael Jordan in this specific moment as a real watershed learning moment for them, and kind of a moment that changed the course of their careers in terms of learning that you have to trust your teammates if you truly, truly want to be great.
All right, so Steve Kerr's game-winning basket, Game 6, 97 Finals, worth remembering.
Yes, absolutely worth remembering.
2016, behind 41 points each from LeBron and Kyrie. The Cavaliers staved off finals elimination with a Game 5 win. Game 5 win, 112-97. James and Irving became the first teammates to score at least 40 points in a finals game. LeBron said, we had a mindset that we wanted to come here and just extend our period and have another opportunity to fight for another day. So that was part of their comeback, but staved off elimination and cut that to 3-2. Of course, they would end up coming all the way back.
Yeah, this is somehow something that we don't remember enough. Like, I don't know if it's a little bit too soon of history for people to talk about it as much as they should, but this game I remember is just these two guys. LeBron said, it truly felt like they were willing their team to victory. I don't think I've ever seen two teammates be as locked in the same game as what Kyrie and LeBron were that game. It felt like they were both not going to miss. And we're on a complete mission. And I referenced it earlier this series when Jamal Murray and Jokic both had their 30-point triple-doubles. In my opinion, that LeBron-Kyrie performance in my lifetime, which is, I guess since 95, it's the best duo performance that still to this date I have ever seen. Regular season, postseason, anything. The game that LeBron and Kyrie put together from all aspects it was honestly a perfect game from both of those guys.
I don't think it's an overstatement to say at that point basketball history was being rewritten because the 73-win Warriors were on their way to another dominant win. And then you had, of course, Draymond Green getting suspended, and the Cavs and LeBron said, nope, and turned it back around.
Absolutely, completely turned it back around. And this is also a precursor to the kind of effort and ridiculous will that LeBron James has. This was the first time we saw it, but this was kind of the lead in a few years later into LeBron's magical 51-point performance that was obviously shadowed by J.R. Smith running the ball.
Saddest thing about all that to me is that Kyrie somehow decided, no,
I'm good. This guy, I can do better than him.
Yeah,
I can do better than him. It's all right. This isn't luck.
All right, so we're 2 for 2. Finally, this day, 2012, do you know who pitched the 22nd perfect game in Major League Baseball history?
Matt Cain.
Matt Cain striking out a career-high 14.
But now looking into Buster Posey. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the ground, Arias from deep third. Got him! And that's a perfect game.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah, 14 strikeouts in a perfect game. Arguably the most dominant pitching performance ever. Got help from 2 running catches by Melky and Gregor Blanco.
I forgot about the Gregor one. Yeah, the Blanco one goes down in history. That was the diving catch at the wall, if I'm not mistaken.
Giants beat the Astros 10-0.
Big Buster hug that day.
Yeah, remember that one?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
worth remembering.
Yeah, that one's absolutely worth remembering. Like you said, maybe just one of the best, most dominant pitching performances of all time.
Coming up, why so many people say that the Nuggets win last night will be remembered as the start of a dynasty. Next, Chris and Company Sack Sports.
Phil told Michael, he said, Michael, I want you to take the last shot. And Michael said, Phil, I don't feel real comfortable in these situations. So maybe we ought to go in another direction. Why don't we go to Steve? So I thought to myself, well, I guess I got to bail Michael out again.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. We're looking for silver linings in what has been a difficult year for the A's, and perhaps players the A's could build around for the future. What about first baseman Ryan Noda? As I'm recording this, among American League rookies, he's first in walks, he's first in on base at 403, and also third in OPS. Not bad for a Rule 5 selection this past offseason from the Dodgers. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Turn your highway into a smile with Elk Grove Kia.
Have you ever needed a second chance? A chance at a do-over? Elk Grove Kia thinks everyone deserves a second chance, and yet too many folks don't get that second chance they need or deserve. Well, Elk Grove Kia wants you to know we've got you covered. With over 100 years of combined experience in financing, we have the connections and knowledge to get you the approval that others just can't. Doesn't matter if you have late payments, charge-offs, bankruptcies, or repos. If you can make the payment, we can find a way to get you on the road with a new set of keys. Elk Grove Kia can even make all this happen with little to no money down. Don't wait. Enjoy your summer with a new set of wheels. Get started today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile with Elk Grove Kia.
You've heard all of his greatest hits. And now's your chance to see Grammy-nominated multi-platinum singer-songwriter Gavin DeGraw live at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville. Get your tickets now to see Gavin DeGraw, Friday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. Only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead.
With free battery testing and charging, AutoZone is here to help.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
What if I need a new one?
We have the right batteries right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone,
And what if I don't know how to connect it?
No problem. We have a how-to for you at AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets have won their first NBA championship after winning Game 5 against the Miami Heat 94-89.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP, goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 people can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written across the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly MLB owners meeting and as the Nevada state legislature moves into a 4th day of special session. debating the merits of the Athletics Stadium proposal. For more updates on the Athletics Stadium deal, you can tune in to SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Now it's time for Hour 3 of Chris and Company with Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins.
I feel that this must be addressed immediately. Kevin Michael, Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins. This, of course, is Chris and Co. on the YouTube chat. Thanks for being with us. On the YouTube chat, people are starting to just throw around the idea, very informally, I know, but still, the idea of Ben Simmons and the Kings.
Oh, boy.
And I understand it's just like, hey, it seems like there's no harm in that. But I'm telling you, there is. You don't want to wander down that dangerous path.
I mean, Ben Simmons, if we're talking like taking a Dylan Brooks kind of risk on him, sure, why not? Throw out chump change out there. But Ben Simmons, if I'm not mistaken, is still on a $40 million per year contract.
He's got 2 or 3 years left.
That's not a flyer. That is a full-blown commitment at that point to Ben Simmons. And at that point, you're kind of hampering, or you are hampering, what you can do with the rest of your roster. And it's just not a risk that's worth taking at this point. Again, maybe it was a risk worth taking when the Kings were in a different position. You know, I would be lying to you if I didn't say that during the Tyrese Halliburton trade, era of things, I was definitely a proponent of Ben Simmons being a potential risk for the Kings to take. But especially with where they're at now, why you don't want to. No, that's the last thing the Kings need to do is bring in Ben Simmons, who has just tons of questions on the floor. But then when you bring in his contract off the floor and then just kind of his wanting, his will to play basketball, doesn't seem like, frankly, just doesn't seem like a guy who really enjoys the work that it takes to be a professional basketball player.
As a basketball player, as a person, I wish him the best as a basketball player and as a person.
Yeah.
I have no idea what kind of person he is, but as a basketball player, he's broken.
Yeah.
And so it'd be like going to the store and buying something really expensive that's broken. You wouldn't do that, would you? I wouldn't. Would you do it?
No, not unless, I mean, it's a nice object and it is broken. You're absolutely right. It's broken. But if you feel like you can fix it, I guess, but the problem is there's a really big price tag on that broken. Exactly. Yeah. You're going to want some form of discount, and you're paying full price for it. If you're getting Ben Simmons, you're paying $37 million next year and $40 million the year after that. That's full price. You're paying then for Ben Simmons, the all NBA, the all defender, the guy who's going to play 70 plus games. That's the best case scenario. That's where you're getting fair value for Ben Simmons. Everything else is a complete ripoff and just not worth taking the risk. And again, like I just can't see I think Brooklyn's kind of stuck with him.
If I remember correctly, there was even talk when he was at LSU that he didn't really like basketball that much.
Yep.
And that's fine. That's just right. I just don't want to pay a lot of money to somebody who's like that.
Exactly.
You do you, that's fine, but I ain't going to pay a lot of money to come here and not like basketball.
No, especially when there's people who will die for this sport. You know, there's people like Patrick Beverley who will go overseas for 4 seasons just to get a 2-way contract and hope to get an NBA deal. No, Ben Simmons, and you're right, like ever since he left LSU or was at LSU, there's been questions about his work ethic ever since. And you can really just look, and it's the thing everyone points at, he's another guy who is not – what is Ben Simmons better at today than he was the day he was drafted?
I've got nothing.
He still played well enough to get $120 million, though.
That wasn't the question.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago, too.
What has Ben Simmons gotten better at?
Ago. Probably icing his back.
He still cannot shoot free throws. He's taking less shots now than he was before.
Yeah.
Not any better as a distributor, as a playmaker, not a better rebounder. He's more physical now. He's got a better body on him. He's aged.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. That does not speak to me like if Keegan Murray shows up next year and does the same exact but then that's also not a fair equivalent because Keegan Murray was not a generational prospect, was not a number 1 pick. Like Ben Simmons has all the talent in the world. He's just letting it go to waste because again, like it just doesn't seem like he loves the game.
Yeah, I wish him the best, but I'm certainly not going to assume anything close to that risk right now. I was thinking last night what a throwback Jokic is, not just in terms of the way he plays, but the way he acts after winning a championship. Have you ever seen like film, not video, but film of, say, baseball teams winning the World Series in 1960 something. It's funny if you see that.
Hello, Babe Ruth stepping up to the plate.
If you see, like, say, it's the St. Louis Cardinals and they win the World Series 1967, and there's a fly ball and they catch it. What they do is they kind of have their heads down and they run around and they don't really celebrate that much. And they're like, they'll shake hands, and then
a lot of handshakes,
hug each other, and kind of embarrassed that they won. And there's a little bit of, and they run in the clubhouse. And now, of course,
not
people
anymore.
Go nuts.
Yeah.
But Jokic is like one of those guys from the 1967 St. Louis Cardinals going, yeah, now we get to go.
Definition of a lunch pail guy, just trying to clock in the shift. He's like, all right,
and his daughter's the same way. The little girl's like,
she was like, oh, yeah, not really bothered by the lights, or she's just like, Dad, like, can we go? Like, normally it's sleep time right now. Yeah, it's really and it's funny you mentioned just like the difference in celebration now. I went to a couple Warrior games this year. They set off streamers after every victory.
Right.
I'm like, what is this? I mean, again, I hate to sound like the oldest man on the planet, but I remember back in my day, streamers were only dropped from the ceiling if you win a championship, and now. I don't know. I don't think there's any greater point in that, but it's just
pretty soon it'll be have the confetti if you're up 3 at the end of the quarter.
I know it's getting nuts now, and I mean, shout out Denver. They definitely partied it up right. I saw Aaron Gordon was literally on the streets of Denver partying with the people. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. Did you see Jokic yesterday pull Jamal Murray into the
I did see that.
Literally like dove in, ripped him into the they have the ice tubs and the sauna or the spas.
So he was happy.
Yeah.
He just didn't feel the need to show us how happy he was inside.
Even when he was spraying the champagne, it was a little angry. Like, he wasn't really doing it out of happiness. He was just like, like, take that. Yeah. Good celebration. They definitely they did it right. But
and you could also see when he was shaking hands and giving hugs to not only his teammates, but the guys on the Heat and everybody, all the people that he knows. You could see how happy he was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
so
for sure.
He didn't show it during the interviews, but he was just satisfied and relieved too, I think.
Have you did you ever hear the story of when Dirk won his title, what he did immediately? So I really wish I could credit who tells this story, but so Dirk, who obviously won the championship in 2016 with the Mavericks, immediately, so championship happens, they beat the Heat, everyone's celebrating, same thing that you see last night, everyone running on the floor. They can't find Dirk Nowitzki. They're like, where is Dirk? I mean, this is pretty much his title. Where did he go? They said one of the members of the training staff went to the locker room and just saw Dirk Nowitzki in there just crying by himself. And they were like, Dirk, like, you gotta come out. Like, you're gonna win, like, the MVP, and they had to, like, pretty much drag him out because he was just like, I can't go out there. I'm just too broken, way too emotional, just wanted to be by himself in that moment. And they were like, this is not a moment you're going to want to miss. And so I thought, I say all that to say, I thought Jokic would have had a similar moment as a guy who's even in his post game was like, I'm not going to the parade. Like, I'm just trying to get home. I thought for a minute we were going to get a moment like that last night where Jokic just walks out of the arena and is like, yeah, I'm done.
Here's why some people are talking dynasty already. This core, when healthy, has been one of the NBA's best. Blitzing the bubble back in 2020, Western Conference Finals appearance early 2021. Murray told us ACL missed an entire year and a half. The year he returned, they win a ring. This is all from I think this is from The Athletic. Look at the West. Memphis has to deal with the uncertainty of Ja's situation. Yep. The Warriors, what are they going to look like with Bob Myers gone? The word out of San Francisco now is the Warriors, at least they want people to think they're going to run it back. Okay, good luck. Phoenix has a new coach.
Yep.
LeBron a year older. And so here you got the Denver team with Jokic is 28, Murray 26. So they've got a window that appears to be wide open.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dynasty, you can't look that far ahead in sports. You can look, maybe they have a shot next year. Well, it looks like they might.
Yeah,
but
I think they have a pretty good shot.
Their cap situation is going to be tough to improve that team in the offseason.
Yeah, no, it's going to be almost impossible to keep them together, especially now that they've won a title. the very real disease of me comes up now. This offseason, we just talked about Bruce Brown. Glory to Bruce Brown. Absolutely, he deserves to get paid. But there's a lot of people who are going to say, all right, we won the title. Where's my cut of this? Christian Brown in a couple of years is going to say, hey, I was a really key cog to your guys' title. Where's my money? Michael Porter Jr. already got paid. Aaron Gordon might want more money at some point. It's going to be really tough to try and keep them together, especially in the new era of the CBA where they pretty much only want you to have 2 stars and that's it. But next year, the shot looks great for all the reasons you just laid out there with the other teams, and that's really all you can ask for is to take it year by year.
You ready for a little draft day exercise? Perhaps I didn't tell you about this.
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
we're getting towards the
setup, and you don't have to agree to this.
Okay.
Joker and Jamal, do they deserve a spot at the table for the league's top all-time twosomes? And if we were going to have a draft of the all-time best twosomes, where would you think about that if you want to accept that challenge?
I'll accept it.
What?
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. The all-time
Gotta
NBA
write
best
it down.
twosome draft is coming up next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Tuesday is looking brighter. Expect to see mainly sunny skies with a light southwest wind. Highs today peaking in the mid-80s with overnight lows in the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
A nice warm shower is not so nice if it doesn't drain like it should. Well, let's fix that right now. Get a sewer inspection, including mainline drain cabling and video analysis, just $97. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Pain is not normal. Repeat, pain is not normal. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the workday, and the pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back is unrelenting. Good Feet understands that you've likely already tried assorted remedies and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports. With arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Don't want to bother Chris right now because he's working on something, because we got a project and you can help us with it. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 on the YouTube chat, talking about the greatest duos, the greatest 1-2 punches in NBA history, and whether after the series they just had, Jokic and Jamal deserve on that list. Here's Aaron Gordon. He was talking to Malika Andrews about that very issue last night.
I know you think incredibly highly of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Where do you put them?
I would put the top 3 and not 3 and not 2. They're a tough matchup. They guard. They do everything out there.
How about that? Of course, that's the teammate talking there. But do they deserve? I think they're in the conversation, right? You've won a championship here, so yeah, you're a little skeptical.
Yeah, as I'm doing this exercise, they're really not even close. It's who was that who said that? Aaron Gordon?
Aaron Gordon. Yes. He said they're not. I have them top 3. They're not 3, and they're not 2.
Aaron, I know you're semi-local, San Jose's finest. Bay Area's finest mixtapes was fantastic in high school. Been a supporter of your work for a long time. Didn't think you would end up carving out this good of a career, if I'm being honest. But, hey, absolutely shout out to you. You're an NBA champion, and you played great this series, and you were really, honestly, truthfully, a really big piece of this Nuggets title. You have no idea what you're talking about. That is, yeah. I mean,
You
Murray.
think this is recency bias?
I
Or are you just cranky because you were up all night flying?
yes, both. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of do the exercise, and there's just a lot of names, and it's really tough to justify Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic being.
Let's just go back and forth.
Let's do
It's
it.
not a competition.
No, it's not.
But
It's
okay,
not.
you can start. Who do you have?
So, how about just Shaq and Kobe in general? You
Yeah.
know, we could do a couple Shaqs, Shaq and Penny, even. I think is a conversation. How about Mike and Scotty? It's pretty decent.
Was that a 1-2 punch, or was that basically just a one punch?
You're gonna have to tell me more about
All
that
right.
than.
Okay.
How about
Michael and Scotty? How about Magic and Kareem?
that works too? I would say that. I mean, we've had the where does Jokic fit on all time centers?
How many championships do we have here? Like 3, like 9?
A lot to one.
I think we have like close to 14 championships.
Magic
already.
and Kareem, yeah, that's something.
Uh-huh.
How about this? Wardell, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. Pretty decent. That
yeah.
they I think they did okay for themselves in their period of time.
They weren't together long.
But boy, oh boy, did they maximize that. LeBron and Dwayne Wade. How about LeBron and Kyrie? That also won a title. How about my guy, Tim Duncan, David Robinson?
Hold on, slow down.
You
got too many.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different options. How about you mentioned Magic and Kareem? How about West and Chamberlain? Pretty decent.
Uh-huh.
While we're talking there, how about Russell and Kuzi? Pretty decent. Won a couple rings there. That is where my list ends at the moment, but that is also just off of the top of my head.
Yeah. Let's see. LeBron. I missed one. You had LeBron and
Wade, as well as
yeah,
LeBron and Kyrie.
and then you had West and Chamberlain.
Yep.
And I missed one that you had in there.
Russell and
Katie and
Kuzi?
Steph.
Yeah, I got that one.
Russell Kuzi.
Yeah.
How about Tim Duncan and David
That was
Robinson?
the one. Yeah, Duncan and
You can put Duncan in
David.
anything. It could be Robinson. It could be Tony Parker.
Uh-huh.
Could even be Ginobili.
Could.
2005,
Certain
Ginobili
points.
was the second best player.
Could be Boris Diaw.
All
Could
right.
be
No.
Kawhi Leonard.
No, come on.
I think the problem is
Now, the
too.
Shaq and Penny thing, I would take Jokic and Murray over Shaq and Penny.
I think
just because they did win a championship.
They got there though. They still got there. And I think the problem with the Murray Jokic is, frankly, Jokic is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Like, Jokic is absolutely in the conversation with all of the people that we just mentioned. Jokic is in that conversation, but
Shaq and Penny lost to Akeem and I think it's probably just Akeem.
yeah, probably
Akeem
just
and,
Akeem.
Well, Akeem
Drexler.
Kenny
Drexler,
yeah,
yeah.
older Drexler, yeah. Kenny Smith,
Mario Ellie had a big game in that finals.
Come on, no, I love Mario.
Robert
Ellie, but
H. Word,
Yeah.
had a pretty decent role. Sam Cassell had a decent role.
Yeah.
My problem is just Jamal Murray doesn't really fit with those other guys. Like, Jamal Murray is just significantly less than everyone else's second best player, in my opinion. At least at the moment. You know, Jamal is a guy who hasn't been named an all-star yet, doesn't have any all-NBAs, so it's just tough to put him over guys like Kuzi, like Steph, like Magic, like Jerry West.
Bless
like
you for saying
LeBron
over
James.
Kuzi, and I don't, you know.
I mean, it's more just like they
Kuzi
have
was
the
like
titles.
in the black and white era, but that, you know, it's nice of you to go back and
you know,
acknowledge that
exactly.
he wasn't a quote unquote plumber.
Yeah, it was more of just trying to get Bill Russell. It was Bill Russell. Like, if anything, that's like Jokic and Murray. It's like, it's just kind of Russell and anybody else, whoever else you want to throw in as the number two. But this is like,
Moses and Irving, Moses
sure,
and Doc. I don't know.
absolutely, yeah. Why not? Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson. You know,
Didn't win a championship.
Didn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's Powell and Kobe. Also, I guess that's
You know
not
that
really
when they just
not really a combo. I
They
think about.
retired his number in LA. You probably heard just last year.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people that said, hey, that doesn't belong up there. And I thought it did.
He was the second best player on 2 title teams.
Yes.
I mean, for the Lakers, that's not
Yeah.
nothing. That's definitely not nothing. I mean, if there's going to be any sort of conversation of if Anthony Davis deserves anything like that, I mean, Pau Gasol absolutely deserves all of that. I think Pau, frankly, and this is part of the Kobe standum that goes on with just all Kobe fans. It's it's all him, and it's really tough to give credit to anybody else. But those Laker teams had a lot of. Ron at that time was still a great defender. Lamar Odom was a really unique player at that time. They had talent on that team.
On the YouTube chat, McHale and Parrish,
right? Bird
and Johnson. I guess that's Dennis Johnson.
How about Bird and McHale?
Malone and Stockton.
Sure. Those two are not going to be on any list I make. But yeah.
I got one going way back, 1971. Kareem and Oscar Robertson.
How about that one? Yeah, that's a pretty decent one.
They were decent.
Those are some stat stuffers there. Yeah. That's pretty good. How about Isaiah and Dumars?
I was wondering.
I don't know if that's like
who to pair Isaiah with.
Yeah, all time. I don't know if that really fits, but
I'm not a huge fan of Isaiah Thomas, but he was, I think, underrated. I think he's underrated.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he played in an era where he was overshadowed by Jordan,
right? Magic and Bird,
but
all of them.
Isaiah Thomas was great.
Got two of them. He snuck two of them in. He's got his fair share of rings in there, and I think he's kind of somebody who's forgotten in time just because you look at his numbers, and also like Isaiah was a great defender and just a great true point guard. There's not really many numbers or anything that really jumps off the page that's like, wow, Isaiah Thomas did that. Like it's more just like it's a need to know basis.
My favorite Isaiah Thomas story is that John Sally told the story one time. Maybe I've said
John Sally's a great story.
John Sally gets the ball from Isaiah and misses a layup, and Isaiah says, "If you miss that again, I ain't gonna throw you S for a month."
I love.
Well, I think you've made the point pretty well there.
Yeah,
Chris.
it's just not. It's just not. Like
So-
I'm not saying they're not great, but
Joker and Jamal, are they one of the all-time top duos in NBA history?
Not right now.
No,
not right now.
Are they in the league right now? Sure. One of.
Yeah, one of, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I know, and I know they directly beat them, but like KD and Booker is a pretty deep, like that's about as good of a 1-2 as you can get. Murray and Jokic, absolutely
winners.
Absolutely, for sure. I would say
Shaq.
How about Giannis and Middleton? That's decent. Or Giannis and Drew Holiday. Yeah, I mean it's just kind of Steph.
Even LeBron and AD.
Jalen and Jason
and Tatum.
Yeah.
I mean, they're absolutely up there. If we're just talking straight 1-2 punches, absolutely.
Embiid
and Harden for the time being, absolutely. I mean, it's tough to argue against the current argument for them as they're sitting up top, but there's conversations to be had.
Yeah. So as far as the table, if we have a table and we're going to serve all these be the greatest twosomes all time in NBA history. Jamal and Joker at this point, you guys are at the kids table.
Yeah, they're at the kids table.
Right?
Still.
You're welcome.
It's
We
cute.
have a good time.
What they're doing is cute.
You ain't sitting here.
No.
Not yet.
This is still
Get back to us next year.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
So that's like the card table that somebody has to get out of the garage or something and set up for them.
Yes, exactly.
The Joker's going to be like too big. And
way too big for the table. It'll be cute though. It'll be in the little tiny kid chair, but he's going to be in a big body. Who doesn't love that kind of? It'll be so cute.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, you're welcome.
Close
but no cigar.
Yeah. Does the Davion to Phoenix chatter even make any sense? Next, Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers 2023 schedule is out and filled with big matchups.
The 49ers start the season with a Week 1 showdown in Pittsburgh.
At home in Week 5 against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
And a Week 13 NFC Championship game rematch with the Eagles.
Plus, get every 49ers game this season on Sactown Sports. Visit SactownSports.com for the latest team news and a full schedule breakdown.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The city of Sacramento offers rebates to help with your outdoor water saving projects this season. Rebates are available for landscape conversions, smart controllers, and irrigation upgrades that improve your water efficiency. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers, a plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
You know what time it is. It's time to trade up to a brand new Kia at Folsom Lake Kia. Trade up to all the newest technology and an industry-leading warranty. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets have won their first NBA championship after winning Game 5 against the Miami Heat with a 94-89 comeback.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 people can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written across the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly MLB owners meetings and as the Nevada State Legislature moves into a 4th day of special session debating the merits of the Athletics stadium proposal. Also, side note, the Athletics have won 6 games in a row. How did that happen? They somehow still have the worst record in baseball. Those are your headlines. Now it's time to return to Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins on Chris and Company.
Chris was just looking for the first time at the video of Stan Kroenke talking to Lisa Salters postgame. She has the microphone, and he's, instead of talking to the microphone, talking into her ear. A little weird. I bet it made you feel kind of creepy just looking at it.
Yes, that is exactly how it made
So
me feel
weird.
very uncomfortable for Lisa Salters.
Yeah.
I think everybody's fear is like, some like 75, 80-year-old, like creepy looking guy coming up and just whispering, no thanks. Yeah, just the still images of it. Yeah, she looks uncomfortable. She's like, sir, why are you doing this?
She can't turn towards him because you know what would happen.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Then it's a completely different, way worse moment.
And it's very crowded up there.
Yeah. Very strange. Very, very strange. It's like the man has never been in front of a microphone before.
Weird.
Like he doesn't understand the concept of a microphone, which I will say, I mean, I'm not going to say you should whisper in people's ears, but it is always like, I always wonder how they do those sideline interviews and how much questions they can actually hear, because it is, I mean, you're in an arena of 17,000 people, and especially they're doing those interviews at halftime or in between quarter breaks when the in-game entertainment noise is going on.
It's not unusual to have a player say, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, right. Like I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, and I'm surprised that it's not just like they really have conversations back and forth, and I've always been like, how do you hear? Is the acoustics different, like actually on the floor where you can't really hear as much of the external sound? Or I don't really understand how they have just like a normal conversation like you and me are having, but it's in a packed massive arena, and like the natural human instinct to not scream to me is always what draws my attention.
Well, one thing about Stan Kroenke, it appeared that he was trying to be considerate. I don't know, on some misguided level, he wanted to make sure she could hear him.
Yeah, sure.
No, on the other, what does it matter? He's, as I said a minute ago, I want winners. Has any owner ever won the way he's winning right now? Other owners have won more championships, I know. But in the last 2 years, as we mentioned earlier, he's got a stinking Super Bowl and a stinking Stanley Cup and now an NBA championship.
I know.
In the course of 2 years.
Good on him, for sure. I mean, like
and he's got that whole stadium in LA.
Yeah, he owns SoFi, right? Doesn't he own the actual property that it's on? So, I mean, I'm sure he's collecting checks on that. The Rams obviously play there. He sublets to the Chargers as well. So he's collecting money from that franchise. Yeah, just no losses for Stan Kroenke. Also, I know it's not talked about on this side of the pond, but he also owns Arsenal, who just had their best season in a really long time, and really gave Christopher Laud's Manchester City a real run at the league title this year. Where I think Man City's won 6 of the last 7 years. So Kroenke's clearly one of the best owners, not just that we have in basketball, not just that we have in America, but really in all of sports. It seems like he just really knows how to do it. And, SoFi is also just one of like the best buildings that we have in this country right now.
Other owners have more championships, but how many have as diversified a portfolio of championships? I think I heard this on the morning show, Stan Kroenke owns the Colorado Mammoths of the National Lacrosse League or something like that?
Sure. Why not? Good for him. Why not? Yeah, like you said, diversify their portfolio.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, first step is lacrosse. Next will be pickleball, and then it's the world. I mean,
pickleball yet?
No, still have not played pickleball. I refuse. How do you feel about you kind of touched on it. How do you feel about the owners being the first ones who speak when a team wins the title? Do you feel like that's justified? Obviously, you got to put the money up, and there is a certain level of, I think people forget the level of commitment that it takes for an owner to also pay for the team. I know that's why you own it, but like we see with John Fisher, just because you own a team does not necessarily mean you have to dump finances into it as well.
I guess they have to, because they present the trophy to them. That's how everything starts.
Right.
They can always defer and
I just feel like
this isn't my moment. I mean, I'm sure there are some owners that have done something like that.
I truly feel like if I were an owner, I wouldn't maybe at the parade, or maybe I can sneak in a little 2 minutes, or let me present the MVP trophy or something. But I would feel guilty. I'd be like, I didn't just coach 7 games against, or whatever, whatever. You didn't coach.
You would have one of your players or your coach accept?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Or GM or someone people who are actually involved with the product on
I
the
like
floor.
that.
Like,
yeah, I'd like to see somebody do that.
Yeah, it's just always been strange to me. It's like, okay, now, I mean, Kroenke is one of the well-known owners, but
so next year, rather than Vivek get
exactly.
You would like to see
I would like to see Monty or Mike.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, I know obviously Vivek owns the team or Slamson. Why not? Sure. I would honestly rather see Slamson, and no shade to Vivek, but it's just like those are the people that really put the work in. And if you're doing things right, you're letting those people make all of the decisions to lead to said championship. So if anybody truly earned the championship, it's the people who were on the floor or put the people on the floor onto the floor, and not the guy who, just signed the checks.
My guess would be that 99% of owners in all sports would say, if they were really being honest when they got the trophy, they'd be saying, I paid for this.
Yes.
All of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of this.
Which Joe Lacob would.
Which I get. I totally understand that. And that is your right as like you said, the person who pays for it all. For sure. Absolutely. If the bride's dad wants to give the first speech and welcome everybody in, for sure, my guy, go ahead. That more power to you. But let's not forget who this day is about. It's not about the dad who paid for the wedding. It's about those two kids who were in love over there. Wow,
that's nice. That's nice.
I know.
Have you heard the story what Joe Lacob said he and his girlfriend did with the trophy? Like when he first won the NBA title?
That is one hell of a lead-in. You
haven't heard that
story?
Wait,
you've never heard this story?
I can't, but I can draw some dots off of that, just off of that lead-in.
Let me just review the details, then we'll make a determination as to whether we want to get any further into that. But it's pretty much what you're thinking.
Okay. I did not hear this.
See, I think that every time I see that stupid trophy. And
I think of it every time I see Joe Lacob.
That's not what I should be thinking of.
Yeah, that's ununfortunate.
And I don't want to think about it.
No, now I don't want to think about it. Now that's all I can think of. Now guys are raising the trophy, and I'm like,
I
really hope they make a new one every year.
They do, but that doesn't change the one that we're talking. I think it was the first one is the one in question.
And he was like, we had some fun with it or something like that.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
When they won the championship last year and Lacob got to hoist the trophy again, all I could think of.
Yeah, so let's not give
owners
trophies.
sorry, now that my curse is
and
your
that's
curse.
That is exactly exactly. It feels like you just transfer that over to me, and now I can't, and now all the listeners as well. God, no, I did not need to picture that at all. But if anything, this is more to my point of let's not let the owners have control of these trophies. Like this is not about the owners.
You should have led with that.
That's exactly why the owners should not actually have any say in the trophy the trophy presentation, because they would do something dumb like that instead of actually cherishing what they had just earned. Gross.
What is going on here? I have a hard time imagining anything's going on with Davion and the Suns, and we could talk more about this, but the Suns, they may lose CP3, they may not. But I saw a story that said it listed a whole bunch of guys.
Of them.
And then it said Davion Mitchell is also on their radar.
Yeah.
And of course, some people pull that out and say, the Suns want Davion. And that's not really how I read it.
No, I didn't read that either. I did read it. I didn't read it like that either. I definitely saw the same reporting, and it pretty much said, like you said, it said that they've done work on Davion Mitchell, and he's someone not even really of interest, but it's also
their radar.
It's also one of like you're mentioning, like 8 point guards listed on the list. So it's clearly just, have you played point guard? Are you cheap? Are you not terrible? Okay, the Suns have done work on you and are interested in bringing you in.
I mean, the notion of, as much as we love Davion, I know you love his nickname. Off Night. Him as a replacement for Chris Paul is like, well, that's a joke.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, again, no disrespect to Davion Mitchell, but there's maybe not current day Chris Paul, but like there is a massive drop off if you tell your fan base, we cut Chris Paul. We really like that Davion Mitchell guy over there. Those under 8 points per game is really in under 2 assists, really speaking to us.
He just got to make his 3 more consistently, and he'd be a real factor.
I don't. Maybe that's the allure of bringing in Davion is you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and Davion won't be taking that many shots with those guys out there, and he can just
that way they gave his minutes to Terrence Davis in the Warriors series. Man. Oh my gosh,
they were licking their chops.
Yeah, that pure point guard thing is like it's it's becoming almost obsolete in the NBA.
Yeah. No.
Coming up
absolutely.
next, what the A's skipper has to say about tonight's reverse boycott. And we may get into some of the things the NBA trophy has been through, and we may not. We'll stick around and find out next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
It's Cattles and Rami.
You don't need more than 8 bowls in your house at any particular time. And if you're having more people than that, just bust out the paper and plastic.
The use of paper plates in the last week in the household has grown exponentially.
Doesn't it happen that way when the wife is away?
Yeah.
Every time my mom would go out of town, and my dad would act like he just figured out how to split and atom. He'd be like, "I have a great idea." While your mother is out of town, why don't we just use paper plates?
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
It ignites something inside of you. It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Have the sound?
O'Reilly.
Protect your engine against sludge and wear with a synthetic oil change. O'Reilly Auto Parts has 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $35.95. Plus, get 2 times over rewards points. Our professional parts people can recommend the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
New flooring instantly updates a room. RC Willey has an incredible selection of carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate. Their experts will help you find the perfect floor for your home and schedule a free in-home measure. Shop RC Willey in Elk Grove or Rockland today.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
All right, Chris Watkins, and I know you've probably looked this up yourself. Do you want a little more on Joe Lacob and the championship trophy, or you ready to move on?
Let me hear it.
When the Warriors won the championship 2014-15, Joe Lacob, very accomplished owner of the Golden State Warriors, says, quote, "I had made a promise to myself I would sleep with the trophy that night. Nicole," his longtime fiance, "Nicole and I did sleep with it. I'll leave it to the imagination," he says, grinning. "We had a lot of fun with it." Well, there you go. You going to be all right? Thank you, because I feel my burden is lighter just by virtue of the fact I can share that with you. Maybe that's selfish.
That is
the Larry O. Oh, my God. No, that's the name of the trophy, Larry O'Brien Trophy.
You really put the O in O'Brien.
No, Joe Lacob put the O in O'Brien.
Heck, all right. Okay.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some things that you're better off just not knowing.
I know.
And that is definitely one of those things. Definitely could have lived my entire life, could have made it to the grave without ever having that image in my head. Now I can't. Unfortunately, I don't think I can look at that trophy the same. That is, why did he feel the need to share that?
He was excited.
Did he think that was funny, clever?
Like, this is what I can do now because I won it. It's mine now, and I can do what I want. And this is what we did with it. Ha ha ha! It's not yours. It's mine.
Light years ahead, huh?
That is the perk of making a new trophy every year, is that the team gets to keep it.
Yeah.
People got to pass that thing around. You know,
what's the sanitization process on that?
That was pre-pandemic, so they were not as mindful.
Yeah.
Not as mindful of all that. Tonight we have the reverse boycott. There's a lot going on with the A's. I know that there was talk that apparently some people in Vegas that are pro A's move there feel that they have the votes, but I don't know that any vote has been conducted yet.
I do not believe so.
Yeah.
I believe they're in the questioning phase.
Yeah, maybe they don't quite have all the votes yet, but we do have the reverse boycott tonight. And at last count, I think more than 25,000 tickets had been sold.
Wow. Yeah. Last I saw was 20,000, and that was just a rough estimate. They were expecting probably more than that, but it should be quite a showing tonight. I'm really excited to see how it looks on TV and also to see how it gets covered, because obviously a big part of this entire John Fisher smear campaign of the Oakland fan base has been, see, they don't care about their team. They don't show up. Well, that's not true at all. We all know the reasons why people don't show up, and it'll be good to see just that building packed maybe for one last time. But just letting A's fans be able to be heard, I think, is what I'm most excited for tonight about.
Bless you for wearing your A's hat today. Your A's
Absolutely.
cap.
Yeah. Had to switch that on. This is all I can do.
Bandwagon fan. They win 6 in a row.
Definitely.
Like, where's my A's hat?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was like, oh boy, I think they're in the 200s now. So, definitely time. I could not. I spent the time in Portland this weekend with a couple of my friends who are A's fans.
Oh, you guys were looking into a move to Portland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, doing it for the
great.
actually on some back channel stuff,
because that's been talked about too.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, it's just like I could not sign up to be an A's fan. I couldn't. There was no way that in my choosing of a baseball team that I could pick a team that just so closely resembles the Kings in all of the worst ways possible. And again, I keep saying it, but for anybody out there who is an A's and a Sacramento Kings fan, good on you. You are a true fan of sports, because what you will have been through between those two teams is more than anybody really has to go through for any other sporting sport of their choice. So big shout out to all the Kings and A's fans, but that's
so much of it was worth it for the Kings fans, as you know better than I, last year that they finally broke through. And when they finally do win a championship, can you imagine what that's going to be like for people that stayed through thick and thin?
I quite literally cannot imagine what a Kings championship will look like. There was a moment yesterday, and we were talking about how the crowd got tense in that Nuggets game and in that Nuggets arena, but also when it was winding down and you could feel like, oh my God, we're about to win a championship, it gave me goosebumps. It really did. Like, just thinking, even just for a moment, to try and place yourself in that kind of situation. Denver obviously is in a similar situation as the Kings, where they had never won a title before. Just the environment that would be, I can't even place myself there. It would just be an overwhelming amount of emotion. I'm sure you'd want to cry. I'm sure you'd want to hug everyone. I'm sure you'd want to celebrate. And I just hope that one day we get that. I hope one day we get that day, because there's been some bleak moments, but I think this Denver championship is just a prime example of it can be anybody. It really can be anybody. You just have to get a whole lot of luck, and you got to put a good team around a star. But it can happen to anybody. So why not Sacramento?
You want to hear something seriously that you cannot imagine? We say, I can't imagine that. Okay, I was reading a book about apparently there are birds and there's some insects that they think can see colors that we can't see.
Sure.
Can you imagine? You can't do it. A color that you've never seen before.
No,
you can't.
I can't
it's
imagine.
Like, your brain starts to
fry.
Collapse.
Yes.
So that's kind of like the Kings winning a championship.
Yes, it is like seeing seeing a new color for the first time. It'd be like if you just went outside and it was like this weird orangey green thing, and it's like, don't think I've seen that before. And just like all the emotions that would come with, wow, the sky is a new color, and what does this mean, and what does this say about the past? Yeah, I mean, that's truly what it would be. It would be that unbelievable, truly, at this moment. Like, if you were to tell me the Kings are going to win a championship in the next 5 or 10 years, regardless of, we all know how the team is situated, and maybe they will win a championship in the next 10 years, but just
wide open. The NBA is probably rarely, if ever, has it been this wide open.
No, I mean, never. Again, like, this is a league that's just full of lack of parity. I mean, it's a league of dynasties. It's the Celtics, and then it's the Lakers, and then Celtics again, and then the Bulls, and then then the Rockets get a taste, and the Pistons have a taste. And
have you heard this one? Before last night, who was the last Western Conference team that was not based in California or Texas to win an NBA title?
Oh, I did hear this.
Yeah.
It's I don't know which year, but it's the Supersonics,
Yeah,
correct?
1979.
Wow, 79, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess that is a little – I saw that stat, and I was wondering how cherry-picked that is, because how many teams in the West are in Texas and California? And I believe it's, seven of the –
Yeah.
Is that it? 7? Yeah. So I guess it's only
4
half.
California, 3 Texas, 5 of the 7 have won a championship.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's not that cherry picked. It's half of the league.
It's a little
a quarter of the league.
You're right. It's a
quarter of the league, but it's also half of the conference. But it's still nonetheless amazing that, I mean, we've gotten tons of champions from California, and then you got the San Antonio ring, and you got the stray Dallas one, or actually stray Dallas one.
Dallas 1, Houston 2, San Antonio.
Houston 2. I forgot about the Houston 2. Right. The
Lakers and Warriors got one. Clippers and Kings, the only ones who didn't get it.
So if you're a Kings fan, you're looking ahead to playoffs and beyond, and maybe another championship. And if you're an A's fan, you're looking at, man, I hope the team stays in Oakland.
You're just hoping for next year at this point. I mean, and who knows where they'll be next year, even if they, whatever. It could all go crazy.
And the team's on fire.
I know, team's never been better.
We saw that coming. Yeah. So here's Mark Kotze, skipper of the Athletics, on tonight's reverse boycott.
Obviously, being here since 2004, which was my first year in this stadium, the bond, and you get with this group of fans and the fan base, the passion, the love, regardless, like I always talk about, of the numbers. The difference this season is in the sense that they're obviously in an uncharted territory with direction of this organization, and it's only right for them to come out tomorrow and in one aspect peacefully display their feelings towards this organization possibly moving, but in hope on our end is that they also support the players, and I think they will. It's difficult as a group when they go out there. I'm speaking from the player standpoint. It's only right that they're frustrated and they have emotion and passion about selling of the team.
That's one of the great answers I've ever heard any manager give to any question. When you look at all the pitfalls there for him, and he works for the guys that are trying to move the team, and he's trying to stay loyal, first of all, to his players, but to his fans. I thought that was a great freaking answer.
Yeah, it's an impossible situation to be in, right? It's like you said, you have a lot of masters to serve, a lot of people that you're trying to please, fans. You don't want to come off as insensitive to them, especially as someone who knows
we're trying to win ball games. The rest of it, I don't know.
Right.
You would understand that.
Yeah.
But that's not what he said.
No, that's not what he said. He gave a really true, honest answer, and that's just really cool to hear for A's, people who are rooting for the team to be in Oakland.
I've always liked him, and now I like him even more.
No, I like him a lot more, and it's also a really crappy situation for him being put in this kind of environment where, the team sucks, and he's the one who's having to answer questions for why does his team suck, out of his control, and all of the stuff that's going on around him also out of his control, to just kind of have all of this swirling around you and still have a great grasp of everything that's going on, and still, again, that's just a perfect answer from him.
I would think worse for players and a manager would be if you're in limbo there, like, who knows what's going to happen. But if they end up announcing they're going to move, but they still have to play a year in Oakland, I mean, can you imagine that?
No, that is so awkward. That would be the weirdest situation for them to be in. It would be nice because at least you, as a fan, you understand like this is the last year.
Yeah.
This is the true send off. But besides that's silver lining. That is not. I mean that's absolutely not what the goal is here. But it's also a really real possibility that's how this thing shakes out.
Up next, how the Nuggets are a great champion for the NBA.
Yeah.
Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown sports coverage never stops.
I feel like we grew a lot during this playoff series with our defense, and if we can sustain that during the year, that's going to help us a lot.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Players of all abilities will tell you that Bartley Cavanaugh Golf Course is the area's #1 course for fun. Whether you're a beginner or an accomplished player, Bartley Cavanaugh has something for you. It's a great walking course, but motorized carts are available too. The moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas will add to your satisfaction and smiles for the day. Near the banks of the picturesque Sacramento River, Bartley Cavanaugh features the brand new tap room for all your beverage needs. For tea times, visit bartleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. from the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets have won their first NBA championship after a Game 5 come-from-behind victory against the Miami Heat.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP, goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 people can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written across the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly Major League Baseball owner meeting, as well as Nevada State legislator moving into a 4th day of special session debating the merits of the Athletics Stadium proposal. For all the latest updates on that stadium proposal, check out SactownSports.com. Also, Sacramento native and 49er Rick Armstead, along with the Armstead Academic Project, are hosting a free youth football camp this Saturday, June 17th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Sac State. The camp is open for kids between 6th and 9th grade. Online registration is required, and you can sign up now at thearmsteadproject.org. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins here on Chris & Company.
I don't like to talk about it too much, but actually, I don't want to say I did some work with Eric Armstead on, some of his stance and things a few years ago, but, he has had a couple good years here, so that's awesome.
You going to take credit for that?
Oh, I didn't do that at all.
You sure?
Yeah, free youth football camp, Saturday, June 17th, as Kyle just alluded, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., Sac State. Camp open for kids between 6th and 9th grade. ArmsteadProject.org, online registration. That's tremendous.
That's awesome. I was just about to say,
he's a massive human being.
I was going to say that. I grew up in the Elk Grove area, and I played youth tackle football 1 year of my life, and it was for
what position?
It was offensive line. And then I hurt my Achilles and I had to sit out.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but
SOFT.
Yeah, SAWFT soft, Charmin soft. But I played for Pleasant Grove, and Eric Armstead went to Pleasant Grove. But I just remember the way that all of the coaches would talk about Eric, and obviously Eric had an older brother who also went to USC and had a cup of coffee in the NFL. Their dad is also 6'9", massive human.
Dad worked with Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent, yeah. He's I
Gabe
believe
Vincent
he's
might not be an NBA if it wasn't for Gus.
Yeah, no, if I'm not mistaken, Gus is really big into the AAU basketball scene, especially locally, and has done a great job of putting up tons of prospects as well in the Sacramento area. But I just remember how all of the coaches would talk about Eric Armstead, and just obviously how he was a mammoth of a person. But also even back then, they would just talk about his character and how he was just a great kid and always was shining example of a teammate and the kind of leader
any credit
they
for
want.
that, really.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. I was like, these are also things that I heard, and I was wondering if you also get attributed to that as well.
I honestly like to do this the few times I get a chance. It's like Sean Jones, is that who I did it with? But if you an actual football player, and I like to say, come on, let me see you get in your stance. And and a lot of them are like, I don't want. But it's just so incredible.
Yeah.
You feel like an ant.
Yeah.
You look at these guys,
their
so
shoulders,
huge.
Yeah. No, I mean it's and then if you ever see them explode either off of that stance,
you don't want to see.
That's when it's really like, whoa, that's from 0 to 100, and then all of the impact that they're able to get with their hand. Yeah, I mean it's some. Yeah, professional athletes are always they never cease to amaze me, just in terms of their sheer force as a human. You can really feel their weight.
To me, if there were actual real life superheroes physically, they would look like Eric Armstead.
Yes, absolutely. 6'9".
Yeah.
just cut and might looks like a polar bear and could probably push anything. Yeah, absolutely. If there's anything as a real superhero, it's Eric Armstead. It's somebody who looks like Eric Armstead.
ArmsteadProject.org for online registration for this free camp.
Yeah.
I thought the basketball game last night wasn't a football game, but it's pretty physical.
It was pretty close, right?
Little contact here and there.
A lot. Yeah, it was a lot of contact. And, I guess that favors Miami side, but I was just like, it was absurd, just the amount of contact that you were seeing out there. I was like, this is truly a finals game here, but it had like a game 7 level of intensity in a game, which I guess it's an elimination game. Refs are going to let, Miami try and have a shot there. But there was points where I was like, man, especially for Jokic, I was like, there's a lot of contact.
Kyle Lowry is just grabbing people's arms.
Slapping at balls. Aaron Gordon is trying to collect rebounds and just getting hit in the back of the head.
Breakaway. Aaron Gordon when he had that dunk.
Oh, yeah. No call on it at all. Yeah, he's just standing there like... I'm Aaron. Do I need to show you my dunk compilation to show you?
Yeah,
it's not easy to block one of these things. Yeah, it was a bloodbath, and I know there was some talk about the extender. Scott Foster got put into Game 4 as well. Was there talk of is the league trying to extend this? We talked a little bit about it on Friday. I will say I won't say yes. The league was trying to extend it, but boy, oh boy. They let themselves.
You could understand why people would wonder that.
Yeah, just because again, like the level of physicality was insane, and that's going to favor a team like Miami that just really mucks it up and makes it. That's the only way that they could truly slow down Jokic if they were going to do it is just by beating him up, and even that doesn't work.
No, I think Denver, all things considered, is a really good champion for the NBA.
I think so.
And I think we talked about this before the series started. There's two things that come to mind. One is that Denver took the regular season seriously.
Yeah.
That's important for the NBA because that the commissioner is talking about his in-season tournament, and they're trying to find ways to make the games early in the year more important, more significant. And it's harder and harder to do that when you've got guys managing their loads so that they'll be ready for the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, but Denver, to their credit, they decided, and I know they did take the, let the gas off a little bit late in the year, but they were the number 1 seed, and they tried to be the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
that was one of their goals this year.
Right.
Yeah. And the Kings were the same way too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it played a good advantage for Denver too. I mean, with the altitude. You have to imagine that played some impact on how tired Miami looked. I mean, they looked gassed from the start of that series.
I think that's a key point because some teams, why should we try to get, home court's worth a little bit in the playoffs, but is it worth that much? Why should we try to be the top seed during the regular season? And for Denver, it's like home court throughout the playoffs is very significant.
Massive.
So I get that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Denver should always try and push for that. I mean, that's a bigger home court advantage than really anybody has in terms of a noise. Here in Sacramento, we talk about the noise factor, and it is very real. But that elevation, that's something that's incredibly. You'll feel that in the fourth quarter, and that's something that can actually have impact on the game. And it ended up being really, no series ended up coming down to a Game 7 in Denver, and having that kind of altitude really play a factor, but. I think through the long run of these series, especially, you saw in the Phoenix series, eventually those older guys kind of started to wind down in this Heat series after a 7-game battle with the Celtics. I think eventually those first 2 games in Denver really got to them.
Couldn't you see Jimmy Butler, like in the fourth quarter, he recognizes it's going to have to be me now. And I don't know if I have anything left, but he does it. And then I'm only half kidding when I say those 2 mistakes he made right at the end of the game. He had a bad pass and he took a shot. It was a poor shot. I'm thinking his brain was starved for oxygen because he's just so tired and couldn't breathe.
No, truthfully,
his brain wasn't working.
I think that was the case for everybody. It was an ugly game. Again, Jokic was turning the ball over left and right. But yeah, Jimmy Butler, that's exactly when fatigue really comes into play, and especially advanced fatigue that you feel in Denver is by making really bad. Like that Jimmy Butler 3 was – it was a terrible decision.
Early in the shot clock,
made no sense at all.
Right there.
Van Gundy points out immediately, like, you could have taken a 2 and then continued to do the foul game.
Yeah.
And then the turnover that he threw was just absolutely terrible. got the dribble penetration, got to the paint, did the hard work. And then, I mean, people like to talk about Jokic's lack of defense, but that's where it's just being big is such an advantage where, Jokic isn't an elite rim protector, isn't a great defender at all, but he's still 7'2", and you still have to shoot over that massive
Jimmy,
frame.
at that point, he's kind of like one of those people climbing Mount Everest, where they start to,
and then and you look up and you're like, there's a lot more mountain to climb. And he just bailed out of it. And it was just, that was a moment to me where I was like, man, like that's impact, and that's also just like Jimmy Butler, like that's how the championship gets lost right there.
The other reason I think Denver's a really good champ for the NBA, even though they'd probably prefer a bigger market team, but because of the way they were put together, and they didn't take shortcuts, they drafted well, they got really lucky with some of the picks they ended up with, and with some of the picks they made. I mean, look at Jokic, like what? He got the greatest player in the world with what pick was he?
41, I think.
That's incredible. But it's great to show teams, look, this works. Patience and draft well, rather than going out and taking shortcuts and trying to sign a bunch of having your moves dictated by big name free agents who decide we want to play together.
Absolutely. It's an example on both sides as well. Obviously, a lot was made of Miami's undrafted free agents and all that. But to the Denver point, like, who's their highest draft pick? It's Michael Porter Jr. at 7. Like, Jokic was 41. Jamal Murray is a mid-lottery guy.
Well, Porter, he was later than that, wasn't he? Because
Porter was 14.
Was he? Because that's right. I'm sorry.
He would have been drafted.
Keep having the Kings 7th pick in my head as that was where he.
Here's a fun quiz question: who do you think was the highest drafted player in this entire series?
Cody Zeller.
Cody Zeller was tied with Aaron Gordon as the 4 pick in the draft.
That was fun. So anyway. That's why I think the NBA has to look at Denver and say, we'd rather have been Boston or the Lakers, but still, this team sets a good example.
It sets a really good example. And again, like, it gives hope to people like the Kings who are like, absolutely, like, we can, if a team like Denver can do it, there's no reason why Sacramento can't do it. And, San Antonio is obviously a great example of that in the past as well. But, there is hope for smaller market teams. You just have to get the right guy. And those guys, again, to your point, are available wherever. Just look at Denver and where they pick their guys.
So if you want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs.
That's how it goes.
How do the Kings stack up against the Denver Nuggets? What do you got? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. YouTube chat. What do you think here? How do the Kings stack up against these Nuggets right now? That's coming up in seconds. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Turn your home into restricted airspace. Tell incoming flights you want them diverted. The new Raid Essentials light trap plugs into the wall and uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. Its 24/7 continuous attraction provides insecticide-free protection that's people and pet-friendly. Consider air service interrupted. New Raid Essentials Light Trap. Insecticide-free protection.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
All right, Chris Watkins, Whitey Gleason with you here. What do you think? The Kings would hope to be an NBA championship contender soon. Right now, the Nuggets, NBA champs. How do the Kings stack up? Before we get to that on the YouTube chat, I noticed this too. Manny Too Legit asks, anyone seen the commercial when the finals was on and one of them saying light the beam? Dwayne Baker says, yeah, for the Google phone. Yeah, you know the commercial for this is the greatest watch party ever. And now somebody at the end.
Yeah.
I know I should know who that is, and I don't know who that is who says light the beam.
Light the beam.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, and I know De'Aaron Fox also is making appearances in these NBA commercials now. It's really feeling like the Kings are getting some juice in terms of like national attention, national praise, and just putting on the spotlight. The beam's doing Beam's
but it's
doing
not
its
the
job.
purple beam in the commercial. It's like the Google phone beam.
Oh, we don't like that.
Right. But they do say light the beam.
Yeah. I guess it counts, but we'd like royalties on that. Can
Right.
I get added
that's
to
not
our
the beam. You can light a beam.
Exactly.
You can
Very
light
true.
your beam, but you're not
It's not
lighting the beam.
That's a very great point too. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that needs to be. Yeah, that definitely
Sorry,
needs
it's
to
just
be
the way it is.
lined up. If you're going to say light the beam and you are going to light a beam, it's got to be the beam. It
Light
cannot
a
just be-
beam. Yeah, you can say that.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
but not the one. Not the one. There's only one.
What's the gap? How big is the gap? I mean, let's be honest. It's pretty sizable, right? Denver and the Kings right now.
I think Denver's lucky that the Kings lost to the Warriors.
You think so?
No, I don't. There's a gap, right? I mean, it's
yeah. We're talking about the freaking NBA champion,
right? Exactly. We are literally talking about the freaking NBA
What were they,
champions.
16-4 in the postseason this year.
16-4, which is also one of the best runs that we've seen in a very long time. Early mid 2000s is really the last time we've seen a team. I mean, the Warriors went. I think the Warriors had a similar record in the KD years. That's really incredible.
The Lakers that year they lost the one game.
They went
to the
16-1
Sixers.
as you just watched actually. 16-1. That's one of the historic ones. Has anyone ever gone 16-0?
I don't think so.
I don't think 16-0. I think people have gone 12-0 and back when there were 5-game series in the first round. But 16 is really, really tough.
Yeah.
Two teams recorded one loss. There was the 16-1 Warriors from 2017, and then the 2001 Lakers. But back then it was the 5-game first rounds. They were 15-1. But besides the point, one loss.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. It feels like. I mean, that record speaks for itself. The Nuggets are clearly in a class of their own. The Kings are a couple pieces away. I think they have a lot of similar elements. I mean, there can be a direct line drawn to the comparisons of Jokic and Domantas Sabonis. They're really similar, but I mean, come on, Nikola Jokic is just a supersized version of him. If Jokic is Charizard, I guess Sabonis is Charmeleon. I guess he's the middle evolution.
That was mean. You're saying that because Simone's lost her.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I'm sorry, Simone. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to.
You're incredibly hurtful.
I'm sorry, Simone. Did I bring up a holographic Charizard?
Right away.
I looked right at Whitey. That was terrible. How dare you?
I'm sorry, Simone. I know that was mean spirited. I'm sorry. I think that they're close, but man, like when you just factor in Michael Porter Jr., you factor in Aaron Gordon, you factor in a guy off the bench like Bruce Brown and a young impact rookie like Christian Brown. I think the Kings are maybe. I mean, there's just a good gap. I can't really give. I can't give a years or how many pieces away they are, but there's a significant gap that the Kings would need to make.
Sure, but here's your opportunity to gain on them. And I know it's, this is what every team is looking at this. How do we make inroads on the championship? How do we improve more than the champions do? Because of the way the CBA is now, it's difficult for Denver to like Bruce Brown. They probably can't keep Bruce Brown.
Right, exactly.
And so that was why they made that wacky trade last Friday where people wondering, why did they make a trade for draft picks in the middle of the finals? Because that's how they have to try to improve this offseason is getting like another second rounder in because they got to draft people that they hope they can plug and play. Like you mentioned Brown.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how they have to add players. They can't afford to go out and add players. They're thrilled to be paying what they're paying to their main stars.
Right.
And they won a championship, but they're just very limited in terms of what they can add to that now
Right.
going forward.
Exactly.
So the Kings have to maximize their chances to improve in more dramatic ways, hopefully.
Right. And a part of that is going to be drafting. The Kings have 3 picks this year. They're going to have to do a similar strategy as Denver and really have to nail. You're not going to get Nikola Jokic. Okay. That's not going to happen with your, I promise you might get something close, but you're not going to get Nikola Jokic with this. What is it? 24-41 or 24-38. I don't know, whatever. The Kings first round picks and their 2 second round picks.
Yeah.
You're not going to get someone that good, but can you get a guy like a Christian Brown who's can come off the bench and make a real impact, play 15 minutes on a given night and really, change
He's
a
going to
game
mention
during the
Amani
playoffs.
Bates here in about 5, 4.
I'm just saying it's a good bet. That's all I'm saying is it would be a good bet. You can't get Jokic, but you might be able to get Kevin Durant. I think the Kings, they've just got to nail everything they do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the problem is they've got to nail the
38
picks.
and 54,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah, they've got to nail the picks, and they've also got to nail every financial signing that they make. I mean, they also have to get value for their guys. That's where Bruce Brown comes into play. Like Bruce Brown made $6 million this year, but you could argue he was worth what he's going to get paid this offseason, upwards of 10, 12, $15 million.
They need to make an impactful move. And I don't know that Sasha could be that. I
Maybe.
I wouldn't hold
bet
my
on it.
breath. It's possible. Yeah. But if you want to make inroads on the champs, I think they're going to have to, if it's at all possible, make a more dramatic move.
Well, and also
Cam Johnson.
That helps. That absolutely helps.
I don't think they can get him, but I'd love to get him.
When you look at if we're talking lining up head for head with Denver, you need guys like Naz Reid. You need guys like Cam Johnson, who can match up with your Aaron Gordons, with your 6'10" Michael Porter Juniors. Those are key pieces. And again, I stated it earlier, but everyone's got to deal with this now problem of what's the answer to Jokic? What is your direct answer to Nikola Jokic if you go against him in a playoff series? I don't know what the Kings' answer is at this moment to going against Nikola Jokic. Offensively, Sabonis has been able to put up similar numbers to Jokic when they go head-to-head, but that's also in a regular season setting. And in the postseason, after just seeing the confidence that Nikola Jokic is probably now going to have moving forward in his playoff career, I just think it's going to be a lot what we saw with Jokic and Bam, where it's a height disadvantage that you just can't make up.
I think if there's a way to combat Jokic, and there may not be, but you go back to last year in the playoffs when the Warriors beat them and they didn't have nearly the same team. You go back even just this year in the finals, which were just finished, and you look at when Miami had success. And I think the only way to neutralize Jokic is if you're shooting the 3-ball really well. And especially if it's somebody he's guard, has to guard, that has to go out there.
Yeah. That's what Miami tried to do with Bam Adebayo. He can't really shoot threes, but they tried to pull him out to the perimeter. And then again, like just hitting threes in general as a team, we saw that was kind of the recipe for success for Miami in that game too, is just, can you score whatever? Can you outscore them by 30 points from 3 in a given game? That's really the only recipe for success. But can you also win 4 games that way? I think is the thing that's going to be a lot tougher for a lot of teams.
If he's in drop coverage, you have to make him pay for that. But if you're not making your shots, then it ain't going to happen.
No, it's just not.
Real quick here, I want to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Sam Hunt at Harvey's Lake Tahoe on the 13th of August. What number are we looking at for here, Chris?
We'll do
number.
We'll do number 1 for the first title.
What?
Yeah, first title. You got to get in quick. Get in quick.
Caller 1. Chris and company want to send you to see country superstar Sam Hunt, Harvey's Lake Tahoe, August 13th. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline for your chance to win right now. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Good luck, caller number 1. Up next, are you buying what Jimmy Butler's selling about the Hall of Fame? It's next. Chris and company, Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
It's probably one of the best starting points I could have had starting in the NBA, Sacramento.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back this summer. Catch 6 games of NBA action and fun for the whole family when the California Classic Summer League returns on July 3rd and 5th. The Kings will host the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, and newly added San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets with the number 1 and number 2 NBA draft picks. 2-day passes start at just $42 and include access to all 6 games. Visit Kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
The annual Father's Day sale is on at Work World. For all the dads who show us the meaning of hard work, you keep our families and communities strong. Right now, Work World has unbeatable deals on high-quality work boots and workwear with brands like Wolverine, built for those who outdo and outlast. Wolverine work boots and apparel are the standard of comfort and durability on any job. Find our full selection of Wolverine and more great gifts for hardworking dads at your local Work World store and workworld.com. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic is a celebrity pro-am golf tournament, a $1 million hole-in-one contest, a skins game, a celebrity draft party, and a concert featuring the Atlanta Rhythm Section. The Gold Rush Classic raises money for Make-A-Wish, Jordan's Guardian Angels, First Tee of Sacramento, Rancho Murrieta Youth Sports, and other worthwhile children's charities. The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun, raise money for charity, and play golf with a celebrity like Barnes, Fernandez, Jackson, Lloyd, Merriweather, Ostertag, or our own Greg Vaughn. Sponsorships are available at goldrushclassic.org. The Gold Rush Classic is sponsored by Chase Armor at Planned Solutions and Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axis.
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Turn your highway into a smile with Elk Grove Kia.
Have you ever needed a second chance? A chance at a do-over? Elk Grove Kia thinks everyone deserves a second chance, and yet too many folks don't get that second chance they need or deserve. Well, Elk Grove Kia wants you to know we've got you covered. With over 100 years of combined experience in financing, we have the connections and knowledge to get you the approval that others just can't. Doesn't matter if you have late payments, charge-offs, bankruptcies, or repos. If you can make the payment, we can find a way to get you on the road with a new set of keys. Elk Grove Kia can even make all this happen with little to no money down. Don't wait. Enjoy your summer with a new set of wheels. Get started today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile with Elk Grove Kia.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Denver Nuggets won their first NBA championship with a Game 5 come-from-behind victory against the Miami Heat.
Bill Russell, Finals MVP goes to Nikola Jokic.
Following the Nuggets championship, a suspect was taken into custody in Denver after a mass shooting outside Coors Field injured 9 and left 3 people in critical condition. Tonight, Oakland activists have planned a reverse boycott at the Oakland Coliseum. 20,000 people are expected to attend, and the first 7,000 people can pick up a Kelly Green t-shirt with the word "sell" written across the front. The reverse boycott comes amidst the beginning of the quarterly MLB owners meeting as the Nevada state legislature moves into a 4th day of special session debating the merits of the Athletics Stadium proposal. Those are your headlines. Now it's time for the final half hour of Chris and Company with Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins.
Quick quiz for you, Chris. No wrong answer necessarily here, but you look at everybody who played in these NBA Finals. How many of them will be Hall of Famers, in your opinion?
Ooh,
That's just your opinion.
I mean, Jokic, absolutely.
I agree.
Does Eric Spoelstra count? He didn't
Sure.
play. I guess he was
Absolutely.
involved.
Yeah.
Michael Malone's going to be a Hall of Famer one day.
I was asking Chris.
I
We'll
don't
get to
know.
you. But
I
that's
don't
a
know
good,
about
yeah,
that.
That's a good point.
I don't know about that.
He may.
Is Frank Vogel going to be in the Hall of Fame? I don't know.
Maybe not the basketball Hall of Fame.
That's tough.
The,
I mean, that's
spinning a basketball on your toothbrush.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame.
exactly. That's probably it. Like Udonis Haslem, probably not. Jimmy Butler, I guess, is really the one that's up in the air. Bam Adebayo, I guess, could. Jamal Murray, I guess, could, but it doesn't feel like they're trending that way. Jimmy Butler is kind of, I guess, Jimmy's kind of on the fringe. He's definitely in the Hall of Very Good. Definitely in there. I don't know if you want to give him Hall of Fame chops. That's, I know that the thing is everybody gets into the Basketball Hall of Fame, and it's kind of I think strangely enough, it feels like Mitch Richmond is kind of the line when it's like, is he a Hall of Famer? Well, is he as good as Mitch Richmond?
The problem, and for some people it's not a problem, but I know some people don't like the fact that the Hall of Fame in basketball, it's not more selective.
Yeah.
But when you include college and high school and everything, then there, some guys, it's hard to keep them out.
Right.
And international contributions. So some people don't like that. Everybody gets in.
Yeah.
But it's a good question. Would Jimmy Butler get in? Jimmy Butler was talking. Was it Jared Greenberg who was
Yes, it
asking
was
him?
Jared Greenberg.
Jared Greenberg just asked him, let's see, I think earlier this week, if he wants to be in the Hall of Fame, if he thinks about it. Jimmy had a surprising answer.
Your good friend Dwayne Wade's going into the Hall of Fame in a couple months. Have you allowed yourself to think what it would ever mean to you to be elected into the Basketball Hall of Fame?
Yes, I have.
And what do you think?
Don't care.
You don't care whether you're a Hall of Famer?
No, I don't.
Do you think your resume?
Still don't care. Honestly speaking, could care less. And if we're being brutally honest, if I was selected to the Hall of Fame, I'm not going.
Oh.
You're not going to accept it?
No, I'm not going. Like, it's like the festivities and all of that. I just want to go put my feet in the sand somewhere. That's it.
You wouldn't accept that honor, the greatest honor in basketball?
It's an individual thing. I'm not for the individual type stuff. I'm really not. I'm like a team guy.
But even after it's all said and done and you've done
No, I don't want to go. I'm not worried about the Hall of Fame. So I promise you. It's an honor, it is, but I could care less.
Interesting.
I mean that too, by the way.
I love that. No. Hey, you mean no? I don't want to go. You don't believe him, do you? You don't believe him.
I don't want to say it because the man made it very clear that he's not lying, but I don't understand it. I've never heard anyone have that mentality before. I hear you, Jimmy. It's you're I don't know. To me, it feels like a lot of not posturing, but just trying a little bit too hard there to lean into a persona. Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, it's the Hall of Fame. Like, it does not ever. It's an individual account. Like, it's a massive account. And I know Jimmy didn't disrespect the Hall of Fame at all there, but saying you're not going to show up, like, yeah, you are.
It doesn't
you're
detract
definitely going
from
to show
anything
up.
you have accomplished with your team.
Right.
In fact, it might even highlight it.
Absolutely. If anything, especially with a guy like Jimmy Butler. I mean, Jimmy Butler, the individual player, again, Hall of pretty good, but when you factor in the team success of Jimmy Butler, that elevates him. And so if anything, like you're saying, Jimmy being in the Hall of Fame would kind of be more of a team kind of thing. It's not really about Jimmy Butler, the individual. It's about the teams he was on and was able to elevate himself for sure. But, Jimmy, I don't know, Jimmy himself as a basketball player, I don't I don't see Hall of Fame when I hear Jimmy Butler.
First of all, let me just check. I'm not sure. He's a fine player. I don't even know how likely he is to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? Is he a Hall of Famer is a whole separate conversation.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a great shot, I would think. That's not really the issue, though. I don't know if you're allowed to bring guests, and I don't know. Seriously. I mean, if you could bring a bunch of your teammates, I don't know, otherwise, if it's like, you guys, if you pay your own way, come to Springfield, we'll have a good time.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent, you want to get in?
But that is really unusual.
Very unusual, especially in a sport like basketball where it's just natural. It is a team game, absolutely, but you're not going to hear LeBron James ever saying like, no, I'm not trying to make the Hall of Fame because I'm really a teammate. It's a thing that every single player should want to accomplish because it's not just a sign of your stats. It's also, it is definitely that, but it's also, a sign that you had a good career as a player. And it's not, it can be a team accomplishment. It doesn't necessarily have to be just about solely the individual.
Basketballreference.com says Hall of Fame probability, Jimmy Butler. What do you think? Percentage.
I would hope it's like 47 near the low 50s.
73%.
No way. There's no way.
I don't know how they figure that, but yeah, they have them at 73%.
Again, Jimmy Butler, really good, 18 points per game for his career.
Six All-Star games,
6 All-Stars. To me, this is Jimmy's crowning achievement is bringing this team to the NBA Finals. And I know the bubble was also a great season for him as well. And he's got the Chicago history as well. But I just don't see Jimmy Butler Hall of Fame. Like when I think of the best players of this generation, Jimmy Butler's just, frankly, he's a little farther down the list.
Let me see if this changes your mind. And I wasn't aware of all this either, but 2014, 2015, 2016, all defense second team. 2017, all NBA third.
Yeah.
2018, all defense second. 2018, all NBA third team. 2020, all NBA third team.
Yeah.
2021, all defensive team, second team, all NBA third team in 21, and 2023, all NBA second team.
Pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That is really, really good. The 5 all NBA teams is really what sold me on that one. And then the 5 all defensive teams is that's also a nice little notch in the cap as well.
If he ever does win a championship, he's in.
I think he's
probably going to be in anyway.
It's just not a first ballot kind of guy for me. I think Jimmy probably takes some time, and he's not going to headline to me any Hall of Fame cases. I just think, to me, I'll remember Jimmy Butler as a really, really good player, but just I've never viewed Jimmy Butler as a top 10 guy, and that could be my bad, but I don't ever think that he's really been impactful enough to be considered, or really. And I know his thing is kind of elevating his game, but to me, just as a guy, I never really viewed him as a top 8 or 10 guy in the league.
It's possible he's never been.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you may be right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not I can't really think of a parallel kind of career because he's been in these big moments twice. He's now been in his second NBA Finals, and again, like, had real success and a role on those early Chicago teams, but just never really had a true, like, this is kind of the Jimmy Butler moment. And even in this moment, the story got wrapped up with, Jimmy was able to do it for a couple weeks, but at the end of the day, like, he Jimmy hasn't really been Jimmy Butler the past 2 or 3 weeks. Like, it's kind of a real sign of where he is as a career, in my opinion, is just like really, really good, can get you there, but at the end of the day, like, just not one of those guys that can get you over the top.
I respect his efforts to be selfless.
Yes, absolutely.
But if when the day comes where he actually is going to be inducted, if he still feels this way, someone needs to talk to him and say, Jimmy, you deserve this.
Yeah.
And it's good for the game, and it's good for all your teammates that played.
Yeah.
They all get to say, man, I played with a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And it's okay. it's not all about you, but some of it is, and you earned this.
Right. Yeah. No, like you said, and
it's an honor
it's,
for you and everyone that ever played with you and against you.
Yeah, it's a massive honor, and it's not something that you should just disregard. And again, he's not really. I mean, he kind of is by saying he's not going to show
and
up.
Maybe
like,
he'll say, "Oh, I will. I was just lying."
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen. Is when he does, he's going to be like, "This is a massive honor, the biggest honor that you can get named, and absolutely, I'll be there." Which is why I don't understand the posturing. Like, it's okay to say you don't care at the end of the day if you're a Hall of Famer. I'm totally okay if the quote is, "That's not up to me. I'm just going to play my game. I'll let the fans decide if I'm a Hall of Famer or not." That's totally fine. That's what most people would say. But to just straight act like you don't care about the Hall of Fame's existence, to me is just like you're just lying.
Do you think maybe some of it was that the fact that the interview was taking place during the finals and he wasn't I'm not talking about me right now at all. None of this is about me. So never mind.
Yeah. That's absolutely.
We are trying to win.
Right. Yeah. He's not trying to distract from anything. And he doesn't want to create any headlines, or he probably doesn't want this conversation to happen right now. Actually, is probably what he was really trying to avoid is Jimmy Butler, a Hall of Famer conversation.
And that was one of the coolest things about these NBA finals is you had, by NBA standards, you had two selfless teams.
Yeah, really. Again, just like two true teams. Like we saw, Miami was more than comfortable leaning on Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin for a stretch of times. Nikola Jokic was incredible, but there was an Aaron Gordon game. There was, you can argue, last night was Michael Porter Jr. game.
Aaron Gordon last night, he was like, this is so emotional.
I know.
This is so overwhelming.
He was a mess after that game. I mean, and it's probably, Kyle mentioned he was the number 4 pick in the draft and went through a really weird career.
Yep.
He probably never pictured, especially this young in his career, that he would be in this blessed
He was very close to being like a bust.
Yeah, very, very close to being like a guy who was just paid too much, and then probably once that contract was over, not ever going to be considered in that kind of air again. And I think he's really done a great job of rehabilitating his whole image as a player. And I think everyone kind of sees his value now as a third or fourth guy on a now championship team.
I think Jamal Murray's going to be a Hall of Famer, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he's never made an all-star game, right? And not that, that's not going to change within the next couple of years, but it comes to, I've had this conversation plenty of times about De'Aaron Fox. Jamal's added to the list now, but it's a loaded Western Conference just to get those kind of, accolades and acknowledgement. Mm-hmm. You got to beat out guys, at least Steph Curry the next couple of years. We'll see where Dame lands, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka, Ja Morant, De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray. There's young guys being thrown into this league every day. It feels like, and there's going to be tons of competition for Jamal Murray. But if he's going to keep being on winning teams, absolutely, he'll have his shot at the Hall.
Speaking of a ton of talent, Crosstalk with Rami is next, right here. Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Denver Nuggets, in the middle of an NBA Finals run, have made a trade. They are acquiring from the Oklahoma City Thunder first-round picks in 2024
on the day of Game 4 of the NBA Finals.
If they lose tonight, they are not focused. They are not locked into the job at hand.
The Nuggets know they can't use the pick tonight, right?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. But looking for silver linings in what has been a difficult year for the A's, and perhaps players the A's could build around for the future. What about first baseman Ryan Noda? As I'm recording this, among American League rookies, he's first in walks, he's first in on base at 403, and also third in OPS. Not bad for a Rule 5 selection this past offseason from the Dodgers. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at acuraofstockton.com.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
What is going on, Chris? Here it is. The NBA Finals are over. Should be celebrating the Denver Nuggets. And on ESPN, what are they talking about? Who should be the starting point guard for the Lakers? What?
ESPN just can't handle themselves. We're one day into the NBA offseason and already
What is this, Rami?
leading with who should be the Lakers starting point guard. I know everybody's wondering it. Our thoughts next.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I woke up.
Yeah, right.
That was
Yeah.
the first question that occurred.
You're
I sat up out of bed like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know, and I was
Yeah.
like, who's going to play point guard for the Lakers?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What?
Yeah. Oh, man. That's incredible.
Wow. So our choices are what? Fred VanVleet?
It's Fred VanVleet or LeBron. It's one or the other.
Oh.
Not D'Angelo Russell?
There's no other way. No.
No, that makes total sense.
No, there's no way. It's only those are the only two options.
Not Dennis Schroeder?
I'm glad they answered it for me because I was really wondering. It was.
Yeah. Hey, which is more offensive to you? You got Jokic saying, I don't want to go to the parade. You got Jimmy Butler saying, I don't want to go to the Hall of Fame if they put me in there.
I'm not offended by either one.
Okay.
Yeah, do what you want to do, man. Yeah. However, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think either of them is doing it like out of like spite or disrespect or anything like that. I think they both are just that's just who they are.
Yeah.
Jokic just wants to hang out with his horses and
they can come too. We can have them in the parade.
Yeah,
Dude,
why not? Yeah,
that would be
all
outstanding.
three. Oh my
If
God,
his horses were pulling like a little float on the parade with
his
Jokic
brothers
and his brothers on it.
Yes.
Oh,
You know,
that-
in 2014, when the Giants had their parade, you guys may know this. They Madison Bumgarner wanted to ride a horse in it.
Yeah, I
and
remember
said,
that.
No, you can't.
You can't do that.
It's too dangerous. But
Yeah.
he wanted to ride a horse.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen a person do on a baseball
Yes.
field. That
By
was,
far, yeah,
that
when
was
he
amazing.
rode the
When
horse on the
like
field.
John Wayne. Like John Wayne
So
just won the
cool.
World Series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's who doesn't want to be John Wayne and who doesn't want to win a World Series?
Yeah,
like
right.
that man lived every dream
Yeah, all in one.
that every little boy had, all in one. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
amazing. Good for him.
Jimmy Butler, the Hall of Fame thing. You're good with that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He's not for the fanfare, man, which is fine by me.
But he's shortchanging himself on that. We were just talking about that. I think some of it may be that conversation took place during the finals, and he was like, no, I'm all about the team right now.
Mhm.
But if he actually feels that way when it comes to that point, it'd be like, no, Jimmy, you deserve it. It's okay. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Have fun.
And he's saying that now. Who knows
Right,
if he'll
right,
say it in
right,
whatever,
exactly.
10 years from now when
Right.
he is actually getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know I'm a different person than I was 10 years
Really?
ago, and I'd be concerned.
Right. Yeah.
I'd be concerned if I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Sticking to the same things you said
grow,
10 years
you
ago.
learn,
Yeah.
you gain new perspective.
It's
and
true, isn't it? Yeah.
What's the
you mellow out. You know what I mean?
What's the Chicago's perspective on Jimmy?
I I personally love the dude. I loved him. I loved him from day one. He rubbed some people the wrong way.
Yeah, because it was a little unceremonious, right?
But I think he rubbed people inside the organization the wrong way more than he ever did fans. Yeah. Because he was saying what we were all saying about the organization and their unseriousness to win.
Do you guys remember? I think it was last season. I think it was around March, and the Heat, they were not playing well. Of course, they ended up going to the conference finals and losing. Right. But there was a game against Golden State, and Jimmy Butler and Spoelstra got into it to the point where Spoelstra, you could read his lips. He's going, "Do you want to fight me?" With Jimmy Butler during
and then
the game.
Udonis Haslem stood up and he was like, I'll
fight him. Volunteering? Absolutely.
I think he smashed a clipboard in there too.
He was like, "What? Do you want to fight me?"
Yeah.
Just incredulous.
Yeah, like I remember at that moment being like, should the Kings pursue Jimmy Butler in a trade this offseason? And then what? I mean,
break it up.
Yeah, now we're sitting here 3 months later, and these guys are just coming off making the NBA Finals. Like it's just nuts how the season turned. Because at that moment, I was like, the Heat are done. They're in the play-in.
They were in. Yeah.
It was over at that point, and for them to, I mean, here we go, buzzword. Just speaks to the Heat culture, you know?
Yeah,
that culture that they have built there is just impenetrable.
That's probably the last time we have to say that now for many months.
It'll be nice.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the
until
offseason.
they get Dame.
Yeah. Who's your right now? The Hall of Fame comes to you. Says Rami from the game last night. Who's going to the Hall of Fame? Which people?
Jokic for sure. I think Jimmy is pretty close, if not in.
Basketball Reference says 73% chance.
Okay. So I
don't know what that's based on, but
that feels hot. But I mean, you pointed out all NBA.
Chris says Spoelstra, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're including coaches. Yeah, I think Spo gets in. That might be it as far as people that I'd be ready to say today. Jamal Murray, maybe.
That's like a big maybe. To
Stan Kroenke?
Probably not. Probably just Jokic and Butler and Spo, in my opinion. I don't know that I'd go so far as to say Hall of Fame for anybody else.
I was with you. I was leaning towards Jamal. Some of that I think it might be wishful thinking because I like him.
Yeah.
But he's got a shot here. I worry about, coming off that catastrophic injury, as good as he's been, is he going to have the longevity that he will need?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
I hope he does.
Yeah, but that'll age it. That'll take 2 or 3 years off the back end of your career.
Right.
So yeah, just those three, I think. And I'd throw Murray in the maybe category.
Yeah, he's in the maybe.
Other than that, I don't think there's anybody else out there.
Udonis Haslem. Maybe a teammate award or something.
He made history in the series, the oldest guy to play in the finals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
40. Did he
42.
just turn 42, 43?
42.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not that old.
No, it's not. That's
for an
a great
NBA
point.
player.
That's
It's
great.
rather
for an NBA player. Okay,
Yeah.
we were just talking about in general.
And for a 5-game
Guys,
series, I'll tell you what, that was a really entertaining and pretty competitive series.
Oh, there was a couple of blowouts, but I mean,
The game last night was great, although it was, they were letting people
hit each other over the court. Oh my God.
You could hit a guy with a shovel and it's like, play on, play on.
I think it went like not in NBA like clock time, but in real time. It might have gone like 7-8 minutes with nobody scoring. Last night at one point in the fourth quarter, I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And the ball just flying all over the place.
Throwing it off the rim.
Tipped back and forth. I mean, it was entertaining just in the sense that you were like, what? Oh, wait, what? Like, it was just, but
I am entertained by the worst basketball I've ever seen.
It was pretty sloppy basketball. It was a little bit sloppy at times there. But yeah, all in all, I would say a good series.
It was a good series.
Sure
yeah,
it was.
I think it's better than what it looks like on paper. Like it was not like 4-1 does not
Future
really say.
generations will look at that and go,
oh yeah, Miami didn't stand a chance. But the games themselves, were all at least watchable. I think there was no complete blowouts, and Miami also got the win that Miami got was probably that might have been the biggest. Was that the biggest margin? No, it wasn't. That was a really great game as well.
Yeah, and Jokic put on a show, and it was like, "Hello, everybody! This is how good I am."
Incredible, just absolutely ridiculous.
I selfishly wanted it to go farther, just so we could keep
You're so
milking sweet content out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me another week.
Just another week.
That's all we're asking for. It's gonna be over soon anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to be? Well, I know you're going to be leaving early to get down to the reverse boycott. So,
yeah, I'm headed there right now, guys. On my way.
I feel badly that I'm not part of that. I really do.
I know. I wanted to go.
I should go. I'm not going to go, and I feel like I should be there to do whatever I can to pitch it. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, that's
but I admire
my
it.
whole thing. Is it's not going to matter. And I mean,
it's a statement.
I
though.
feel for A's fans, and make your statement, but I don't think. Look, man, if it's not Vegas, it's going to be someplace else.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball is dead set, and it's not even just John Fisher. He's not the only thing you're up against. Major League Baseball is just dead set on getting the A's out of Oakland. So if it's not Vegas, it'll be the next stop or the next stop after that. Yeah. Once they finally, find the sucker who will give them $500 million. To build
like
a stadium for
Thanos, it's
billionaires.
inevitable.
Yes, it is
Right?
inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope not, but I think it is.
What can you share with us in terms of what you have coming up on the show today?
Plenty of finals talk on the show this afternoon. We'll get into some 49ers as well. And it's they said what at 3:45. Some of the weird and wild and wacky things people have said from around the world of sports.
They said what?
Tune in.
Thank you. Looking forward to that, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Great job, Kyle. We've got Kettles and Rami next right here on Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
Purdy gonna throw, and